or mini stroke, heart failure in the
Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Tuesday, February 21st, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got number 10 Marquette versus number 19 Creighton. Live reactions for college hoops. The game is almost over. We only have 10 minutes left, so about half of the second half. But I figured this was the best that was on TV right now. I guess I could have did the Indiana versus Michigan State. That one's at halftime, 35-29. But at this point, when we end up starting, around 6 or 7 p.m., I'm going to drop in on whatever is the hot, pretty much game of the night. And it's 56-53 Marquette. I watched a little bit of it, and I was trying to get prepped and whatnot, eat a little bit. But I hope everyone is having a good day, and we'll bang out this last 10 minutes, and then we'll stream for a little bit after that. And, whatever we decide to get into. We went into nostalgia yesterday and went into the 80s and 90s with like video games. Not only the covers and the boxes, but also going through some of the actual photos and HD and 4K of gameplay. It definitely brought me back to the Nintendo, Sega, Super Nintendo in the 64 days. And here we go. So let's see. We'll get things situated here. I didn't really pull up a whole lot of photos. Besides, obviously, we got this one here. Number 10, Marquette. Number 19, Creighton. Here we go. And normally I wouldn't start a game, after it started, but I've done it in the past, sometimes after the first quarter or halftime, just depending on what was going on. I mean, like I said, if all the other games are blowouts or not really great matchups, and I got two teams that are going to be going to the tourney that are both in the top 19, probably, to do a little bit of research and get things kind of situated for March Madness, why the hell not, right? You might as well be watching the best of the best instead of just anything. All right, Creighton with the ball. I'll have to kind of take a quick peek to see on the scoring and whatnot. I'm peeking now. Trying to do a little two-man game. High screen at the top of the key. Pick and roll. Swings it out for three. Nice pump fake. Step back. Three is no good. Jones with the rebound for Marquette. 56-53, 9:37 left for three. No good. Nice rebound by Creighton. And both of these teams usually are pretty solid in the tourney. I mean, they typically make it. I mean, they're not going to go all the way, but sometimes they'll have a little bit of a deeper run, maybe like a Sweet 16 or an Elite 8 once in a while. Sarah in the building. How are you? A little bit late. Just with the start time. And, like I said, normally I wouldn't be doing something like this, but this game is too good for me not to. I mean, if I'm going to be watching it anyways, and hey, might as well cover, the most important part, the last 10 minutes. So, and obviously it being 56-53, it's been a good game. So I imagine if I go back and watch this from the beginning, I will be impressed with what I'm seeing. I mean, 3-point game, two ranked teams. I know a lot of people don't care about college hoops, but at least this gives me a little bit of an edge or advantage against maybe other streamers, and also just other people covering, March Madness and college hoops, just to kind of get a gauge of what I'm dealing with as, we're getting into the tournaments for each conference, and then the best thing that they have to offer, March Madness. Good defense by Marquette. Crossover, out of control. Fade away, front rim, no good. And then Marquette, that's where D. Wade. It's kind of crazy how the little things that you remember, because Marquette wasn't really great, but once they end up having a superstar, and if you remember Dwayne Wade's run, Dwayne Wade, he definitely put Marquette on the map. Swings it out for three, pump fake, top of the key, lefty three is good. Marquette 59, Creighton 53. And this is on FS1 if you want to tune in together. The Indiana game is on ESPN. And I was seriously consider doing that, but I was like, damn, Michigan State is not even ranked. If they were, I was like, okay, but, I have to get, priorities in line. We're supposed to get snow tonight. So we're going to get snow rain mix, starting at like 1 a.m. for almost the whole day. So it'll probably be melted off here and there. But if it freezes, and then like maybe a few days later, 3-4 days later, it's supposed to happen again after the melt. And then another 3-4 days after that, it's supposed to happen again. 3, no good. So it's going to be interesting. We haven't had any snow of 2023, and we always kind of kid ourselves here in Oregon that we'll get it in February or March. But it seems like every year it definitely shows up. You know, if it doesn't show up by like Valentine's Day or like the second week, it's usually the third week. And then going into beginning of March, which is wild. We would rather have the snow in December near Christmas or January, but you got global warming and everything else. 3, no good. Nice rebound by Marquette. 5 for 13 from deep for Marquette. That's not good. 9 for 23. Oh, nice reverse layup with the left. 61-53 Marquette. All right, we got 8:10 left in the second half. Let's do that. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, every amount counts, and I usually don't share, like personal stuff, regarding, we already know, things are good, but usually you're not going to have that type of relationship with a host and then the rest of the people underneath, that are obviously working very, very hard for that channel. But yeah, you kind of understand, because I figure that, we are a team. So you have to understand like where I'm coming from, and we're always on the same page. I'm never going to be mad at you. It's like I said, it's going to be a team effort. We're going to do the best we can, as long as we can try to stay healthy together. And if one of us has to miss a little bit of time here and there, we'll pick the other person up. We'll keep going, and other people will step in. And then I talked to Shep earlier too. And yeah, I mean, it looks like he'll probably be stopping in for a little bit. So yeah, all you got to do is just approach it as another day. So thank you. Let me go check that real quick. Thank you. I mean, any amount honestly helps. Oh, yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, then you like when it's like when you think people are making like so much, and some people think that YouTubers and Twitch streamers, oh, they're rich, they're making so much money, you know what I mean? But a lot of times they don't tell the truth or tell people that are working with them really what's going on. But I try to be transparent and be pretty real and upfront, so there's no there's nothing to hide. I mean, this is what we're doing. This is a team effort. So, and I know sometimes when I mention things to certain people, like maybe like a Sarah or Shep, that they're like, oh, they're like, damn, O-Dog said it was bad, but I didn't know it was like that. So, but with that being said, I always got to be able to stay positive. I can't let that, anytime I start feeling like that, hey, just go get a pre-roll, and then we're good to go. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. Megan with a 10er. Thank you. Appreciate you. Let me put this in here quickly. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. And I never take anything for granted, and I don't expect to be on that crazy run that we were on, hitting like 2 bills, like, every day for 6 months. That was a fucking blessing. But, hopefully one day we'll get back to that. But I mean, it really makes you appreciate shit even more, when you go from the highs of the highs to the lows of the lows. And I mean, I don't think I've ever not been, grateful or show gratitude. So I know that I'll be okay. If I was just, only about the views and the money and the subs, and I didn't care about people, then, obviously if bad shit started to happen on the channel, then it would be well-deserved. But I think when people are good people at heart, they might go through some difficult times, but eventually, things will work out, so. Sarah, $5 dono, and this will help going towards rent and bills and everything. Absolutely. You know this. And they're raising my rent like $120, which really sucks. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. And Sarah, if you have not watched the A&E NWO Season 3 Episode 1 special, it's 2 hours long. It's got Bischoff, like out in Wyoming in his little home near like a, water area. It's like, almost like a Yellowstone. It's beautiful. So it's got Bischoff on there. It's got Hogan, Nash. It would have had Hall if he didn't fucking die, right? The clips that they show from Nitro and the whole buildup and behind the scenes is fucking, and I'm NWO 4 live, right? And it's not very often where when you say something's for life, in something like wrestling, trends come and go, wrestlers come and go. But if you're NWO, you're NWO for life, brother. And it is incredible. Out of a scale of 1 to 10, Justin watched it live. He's a big wrestling head like I am. I watched it last night. it is like an 11 out of 10. The only thing missing is Scott Hall being alive and talking about it. I highly recommend watching that A&E special about the NWO. And if you're a big NWO fan like I am, I mean, you couldn't get enough of it. It goes over all the stages, the rise and the fall, and Vince buying them out. It's awesome. And Vince McMahon, they show different things after he purchased, and the buildup of how the NWO got created, how it got its name. And then obviously with the, blurring the lines of what's real and what's not. And that's why it was so good at that time, because, having these big superstars like Diesel and Razor Ramon come over, people didn't know if their contract was up and if they actually were like invading and if it was an outsiders thing sent from Vince, or did they actually work there? And then the Hogan turn, which was the most significant heel turn ever in wrestling. And that was a real pivotal point because it made Vince almost go out of business. They said Vince almost came like 2 weeks to a month away from closing WWE because WCW was winning all the ratings for about a year and a half with NWO going strong. But then like Bischoff maybe got a little like, starting to living the lifestyle of like NWO, and the glitz and the glamour and obviously splitting it up into the Wolfpack, and the rest is history. So, but I think you'd really enjoy it. 63-50. I mean, I did. I mean, I could watch that thing like 3-4 times in a row because that's my favorite. I know some people are DX people. Layup, no good by Creighton, but I'm NWO and I always will be. I still rock the gear. And at the very, kind of towards the end, Kevin Nash is like, and Hogan and everyone's like, they didn't realize it would get to be as big as where you would have heels being cheered like faces. It's like you could be the ultimate bad guys, but it's the first time it's ever happened in wrestling with those type of wrestlers, and it changed the game. And yeah, that's the best time in wrestling for me. I'm an 80s baby, so I love the 80s, but that time in the 90s, the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars was by far the best because you had ECW and RVD and Sabu in the prime with Paul Heyman, Paul E. Dangerously, Nitro with NWO, and then you had Vince with obviously DX. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Megan with the tenor. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Good. It's always good to be able to spend a little time with the fam. I picked up my mom and she had a little eye surgery. So I picked her up. She didn't want to pay for like a cab or Uber. So she's, most of the time she'll, she wasn't ask me that often for like help and stuff, but I was like, yeah, I'll pick you up and drop you off and then pick you up when you're done and drop off. And it's supposed to get snow tonight, but she has a checkup in the morning at a different building. So I'm hoping that the vehicle can pick her up and we can make it because it's supposed to start snowing, even if it's lightly at like 1 a.m. And so by the time it's morning, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't have chains or studs or anything, but my mom, she looks like a Marvel superhero. Like, you think you would get like an eye patch, you know what I mean? But she had like these big black stunner shades that she's wearing like outside. And then she's got like the Marvel, like X tape over her eye looking like a badass, and my mom's up there in age. My mom is, in her 80s. She had me when I was 40. So when she was 40, I was like I had like the oldest parents growing up. I think my dad at that point was maybe like 10 years younger. Yeah, so they're still getting up there, in age and whatnot. But my mom is still in pretty good spirits, and she had the other eye done like 4 years ago. So as she's getting older, but she's still ticking, and yeah, so it was good to see her. And she was kind of funny. It's like she's going to go get some like eye procedure, and she wanted to see if Paisley was in the vehicle. So obviously she's more of a Samoyed type of dog lover, person. But once I brought Paisley over there, you know how that goes. 63-55, nice bank shot there for Creighton. 5:40 left in the second half. Kalkbrenner, 6 points, 3 for 4, and 3 boards. Let's see if Marquette can hold them off. There is no Dwayne Wade out there. Dwayne Wade. But I know that put recruits on the map where guys were like, I'm not going to go to fucking Marquette. And then Dwayne Wade started balling out. And they're like, I am going to Marquette. And we've had a few since then come in. All right, 5:20 left in the game. I know I started it late with 10 minutes left in the second half. But hey, might as well come in at the best game at the, what's going on at the time than just some garbage game that no one cares about. Because even with this one, not a lot of people are going to be watching this. Some will. Deep three for Creighton. Ooh, and it's good. That's good. And I'm happy that you got anytime with friends or family, you'd be really surprised. Even just 5 minutes of sun rather than, cloudy weather, 5 to 10 minutes, on the phone or in person is better for a meal, a coffee, just to say what's up, shoot some hoops, whatever play some catch, whatever the meetup is, even if it is just lunch or coffee, it definitely lifts spirits 100% for sure. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. You guys, you ladies, let me know what you guys want for photos. Anything new or the regulars, you let me know, and I got you. Appreciate you very, very much. $10. Holla. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Glad you're feeling better. And brother spirits are always good. That's always going to be good. And like I said, I wish I, had a little bit more time to do that with a few of my friends that I feel that are worthy of it. I don't expect anybody necessarily to check up on me. It's not their role. I'm usually the one that does that. But I have a couple, people that I haven't seen in a little while that it would be, good to hang out. But, as you get older, you got shit to do. And, when you got the puppy that's going crazy and, you got other responsibilities, sometimes you have to, make a little extra effort for that to happen. 15 doll hairs. Let's get to a hundo. Let's do it. Yeah. I had a weird one where I got I'm really showing my age now, but I don't know what was really, it was like an omelet earlier, and some food. And then all of a sudden I got this horrible heartburn and I had to take like antacid, like 3 of them. And then I had to drink Pepto and I'm like, holy shit, dude, I feel like I'm going to die. Like even had to take a shower and I had like a migraine in the back of my head. And it took like 30 to 45 minutes. And then finally I was okay and able to fall asleep. But it was like, oh my God. I don't know if it was like not an allergic reaction, but just some type of foods. I don't know if it's like, if they have jalapenos or spices or peppers, but nice reverse layup. Whistle is called 63-58 Marquette. But yeah, that was kind of bad. It got to the point where I didn't even want to smoke to like go have a pre-rolled like outside to make myself feel better. That's how it made me feel like I didn't even want to do that. I'm like, I just feel uneasy. My back was tight. The back of my head felt like someone was grabbing it. Like, like anyone that's got headaches from the top or the front or the back, I don't get migraines. I don't know if that classified as like a minor one, but geez, it did not feel good. I normally don't get that. Miss there at the free throw line. Creighton with the rebound, 63-58, 4:20 left in the second half. 6 or 12 from the line for Marquette, 2 for 5 for Creighton. Doing rub off screens. See if they go inside. Good ball movement by Creighton. Swing it. He should have swung it. Now you give the guy the ball too late, and he has got a guy on him. He says, isolation, get away. Deep 3 for Creighton. No good. Rebound. Offensive rebound by Creighton. There we go. Creighton is still in this. They're only down by 5 with 3:50 left. Deep 3 by Creighton. Motherfucker thought he was Luke Kennard. He was going deep lefty. He thought he was Chris Mullen. Oh my gosh. It's so good. Yes, me too. Like I said, I've never cried out of any, like I've had Animal and Hawk die. Those are really special to me. I mean, there's a lot of my favorites that have died, but the ones that are really special to me are going to be like Rock, Stone Cold, Hogan, Nash, Hall, RVD. There's going to be certain ones that, now Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, but you know what I'm saying? But for the old ones, Hogan, Hall, and Nash were a huge part of my life. And, yeah, I mean, I've never cried over anyone dying. I cried for Scott Hall because I have the figures. I watched Razor Ramon. I watched him early, it was like NWA, early on. So I got to see Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig before they were Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig. And then, they worked their way up and then get into, WWF. And then they did the Razor Ramon. And then you got to see both guys, Mr. Perfect. And yeah. And then obviously going to the Outsiders. I mean, that was the coolest thing. I already liked Diesel and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall tremendously. Razor Ramon and Diesel were 2 of the most iconic characters at the time. Like, you love those guys. A lot of people did, right? Iconic matches. Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels in the Intercontinental ladder match. That's one of the most famous matches of all time besides Stone Cold versus Rocks and Hogan versus Rock. But to be able to, think about what those people meant to me, it hit me too hard. And I knew he was going to pass away at some point because, with the pills and the stuff that he was doing over time, and then ended up, having the heart attack and injuring himself. And I just feel really sad because the way that he died, I think he had like a stroke and then he like fell down and he was crawling to get to the phone to call Nash. And then he had like another one and then like a heart attack and another one. And he's like shaking, like fucking convulsing and just trying to get to the phone to call fucking Kevin, I know Kevin loves him, and you get to see a little of him crying in emotion. And they were boys. in the NWO special, they were like, we didn't like Hogan. Yeah, brother. It's like when they first came in, it's like they didn't really like each other besides Hall and Nash, and then you can kind of watch that NWO special, but it is incredible. Like I said, I watch anything wrestling related on any network, Vice or A&E, but it's so good. If you actually were a fan back then, I mean, if you see the crowd and how they were reacting, and then you watch wrestling now and look at the crowd, there's a big difference. Everyone had a sign, everyone was passionate, everyone was chanting, everyone was into the show. You never knew what was real and what wasn't real. That's what captivated the audience, and I don't know if that'll ever happen again. She does have to put special eye drops, and she has to have this badass X tape over her eye. But I think the recovery will be a little while and stuff. But just to pretty much to like go in there and like clear the lens, because as some people get a little bit older, obviously with the eye, it'll get a little cloudy and whatnot. And so she did one eye like 4 years ago, and then the other one. So. Jameson in the building. What to do? 63-58 Marquette. Okay, cool. See, that's the type of thing that you should do. I mean, we can always look at the same ones over and over, but if there's anyone like Australian related, even if it's on other teams, if you just want to show that, that support for the people that are where you're from, yeah, that's awesome. Let's do that. We got to be, I mean, we've already seen so many of the photos, and obviously we love them. But anytime we get something new, yeah, why not? Let's do that. Trying to look at the spelling. Falaae. Shep, my boy, how are you? 63-58. Free throw is good by Creighton. 63-59. This might be the latest I've ever started an event. Second half, right, of the game, not even halftime, 10 minutes left. So literally the last 10 minutes of, each section, 10, 10, 10, 10, 20-minute half. So I just came in for the fourth quarter. But I was like, ooh, 63-60. I'm starting to do a little bit of college hoops, and it's better than me just doing like, I drink beer. Let's talk NFL or something, because I don't drink beer, and we could talk NFL, but hey, how are you, bro? Yeah, I know. Even like I said, donos or not, like I said, just having you in the room and having more people, show up is good. I usually don't tell people a lot of my personal shit besides like maybe you and Sarah, you know what I mean? But I feel that you guys deserve to know, and you guys are a big part of who I am and, the channel. So I never sugarcoat anything. I'm always going to be 100 and real. I know some people would not, give up that type of info, but you could still kind of have an idea of things are maybe going good or things are challenging. But it's always great to have you. And I'm really happy that you got a chance to, see your dog, see the dogs. Your homies, the family. And I imagine you guys, because I think on Instagram, you posted like back in Atlanta or back in Georgia. And that made me smile a little bit, because I know how much you've been missing home by bouncing around from like airport to airport. And whatnot. I actually talked to my mom about you in the car, because I went to go take her to get her little surgery, and I told her what you did, and how some of the people are doing what they're doing, and I told her, it's like when you end up having someone that is a good person, regardless if it's you helping here, but like I was telling her, it's like, yeah, if someone is like homeless, or if there's like a mom and a daughter, and you have extra and they look like they're going to be sleeping on the street, maybe you'll buy them a dinner or buy them a Motel 6 for a night. Not many people on planet Earth have that kind of compassion. Probably like 5% of fucking people on Earth. And a lot of those 5% of people on Earth are in this fucking room. You know what I mean? Like you get others that are out there, but I mean, how many people would even think to do something nice, let alone not just think it, but actually go through with it, approach the people, and then sometimes go above and beyond. We need more people like Shep on this earth. But yeah, I always try to share a little bit with what's going on, with the fam. And then what did you want to do for Scott Hall? Okay, I totally forgot about that. So we'll do Scott Hall first. And then we'll get I got the one right here. Just this is the game. And then I had the Daniel. Oh, that's NWO. We're talking NWO, and then all of a sudden NWO just magically popped up. That A&E special, if you're a wrestling fan, I'm telling you, it's the best wrestling special I've seen. Honestly, like I've seen a lot of wrestling specials, but if you're a big NWO person and you want to be able to see everything, A&E season 3, episode 1, it is incredible. This graphic is incredible. Love it. And he's from Australia, huh? That's awesome. I always like it. I mean, sometimes you get like the punter? You'll get some of those guys that are kickers and punters and whatnot. 65-62 Marquette. Free throw is good. Every time I look at Marquette, I think of Dwayne Wade. All right, we got to do Scott Hall here. But yeah, I never cried over anyone, but I guarantee when Nash dies, there's going to be tears. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a fun time for me. I just won't get like that for just anybody. But for certain ones that are a big part of my childhood. And you got to understand, like, I'm a toy collector. Wrestling figures were my favorite thing to collect and like play, besides like, G.I. Joes, Transformers, Turtles. So like playing with the wrestlers and even putting the G.I. Joes and the Turtles in the ring and watching old VHSs and going to Blockbuster in Hollywood and a Wallace video, the like mom and pop places and, drinking Mountain Dew all night and watching wrestling. It was, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. It was great. Backdoor cut. And one. What a play by Creighton with the backdoor to initiate the contact and to get the bucket. Beautiful. Look at this backdoor. Boop, right there. And look at this. Pump fakes, initiates, goes up, and one. Nice play. My guy. But I've seen, hundreds of different little mini documentaries and whatnot. And I'm telling you, that NWO, because it has Bischoff in it. That's why it makes it so good. Because if it just was Hogan or Hall and Nash talking, I've seen shit like that. But I want to be able to get deeper with, the person who created it with Bischoff. I want to see what he's really about. And a big chunk of the show is Bischoff. Like you get your Hogan interview, they'll have him chime in. They have Nash in there. They have a little bit of Hall before he died. And then Nash gets all teared up because he's like, yeah, this is the first NWO thing we've done without Scott. And fucking got all choked up and shit. I don't blame him, man. That was like his best friend, It's like Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. It's like you just know when people are boys. It's clear. Like, it's not just on screen. Like, they spent all their time together. I like bonds like that. It reminds me of us. Sometimes, with the people that we got, the bonds are real. 67-65 Marquette. They're trying to pull away. Creighton is playing very good though. Stifling defense, taking charges, aggressive on the rebound, and they're trying to win. They know they're not as good as them. They're 19th, right? Marquette is 10th, but they're right there, and they're at home. Oh, they went for the pump fake. Go up. There we go with the left. Yeah, baby. Let's go. What's better than Scott Hall? Nothing. Yeah, one of my favorite figures, too, is an NWO, Scott Hall. Not a lot of people have that figure. Let's go. Razor. Nice layup by Marquette. Even fucking Razor loves it from heaven. Let's go. Unbelievable. 69-67 Marquette. 50 seconds left in the second half. Tyler Kolek, 16.6 for 12 from the field. Here we go. Oh, reach in. Yep, that was a foul. See if I can find another one of those two since the game is wrapping up. What's up, Air Whitey? What's good? Appreciate you. What about them Bucks, huh? The Bucks. 15 doll hairs. Let's get to Hundo. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Well, anything that you do will help. Thank you so much, man. You have no idea. Well, you do have an idea because obviously I'm pretty close with some of y'all, and I'm never gonna lie, about anything in my life. So thank you so much, man. You helped us last month by doing an amazing 1,300, and I even told my mom about that. You should have saw her face, because she's like, I was like, well, I was trying to explain to her. It's like, it's like we have kind of a community here. And, when you have people, it ends up being more than just, fans of the channel. It turns into friends, and some people turn into fam. And thank you so much, man. No matter what it is, even if it's $1, it helps. So thank you, man. Floater is good. 71-69 Creighton. Nice. There you go. How many, here's a stat for you to look up, Megan, if your toes aren't hurting and your brain's not hurting with the migraines. How many Australian players are in the NFL right now? I would like to know that stat. You're Australian. You came here. We hooked you up with the 12 chain. You had a great time watching USC live and seeing Caleb. And that actually is going to probably end up being something you'll remember more, because if Caleb ends up turning into a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, you'd be like, I saw him. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know how good he's going to be, but hell, he might be the first pick in the draft next year. So, and then you got to see Seattle and go against the Cardinals. Your boy remembers. And I was just happy that we were able to get that delivered to you here in the States, so that way there was no issue of maybe getting lost in customs or costing more for shipping that way. So. Oh, crazy weather. Dude, good for you. And I always remember kind acts like that, like, because I was, usually I'll go downtown, but I haven't done it in a couple years. And I would do like blankets and gloves, and I'd make like PB&Js, like 50 of them, and hand them out to like the homeless. But since like COVID happened, and then like Antifa and like more of the homeless people and the crime, you have to be very careful when you're out there now. Like, it's not like New Orleans or New York or Chicago. It's not like you go out there and bad things are going to happen to you, but it's not necessarily ideal. There's still nice places in Portland, but a lot of us that live in the burbs, we're never going to go there unless we're going to a Blazer game, or we're going to some amazing food cart down there for food or something. But good for you, man. You're a very good soul, and I see a lot of myself and your kind of behavior and your acts and stuff, and yeah, good for you, man. I mean, that's a really good thing, because not only did it make you feel good if you have extra, because the way that you look at it, right, is if you have extra money in your bank account and you just got extra, right, you got hundreds of dollars extra, right, from working your ass off, right, and it's there because you worked hard, but then this person's got nothing, you know what I mean, and then no one's helping them, everyone's ignoring them, sometimes just a little $50, $100, I saw this guy, and I saw him, and I almost, wanted to like follow him down the road, but I was turning left and he was going right. I was going to Petco, and the guy's homeless, a couple teeth missing and stuff, and he's like scarfing down like a egg sandwich, I think from like Carl's Jr., and egg is just getting everywhere, you know what I mean, just everywhere, egg and sausage and everything, and just eating it like he hasn't ate anything in a long time. And then I went into Petco, got a couple things from Paisley, greenies, and like some cookies, because of the snow tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to go tomorrow. And then when I got out, he was gone. And then as I was leaving, getting out of like Safeway, Petco, I see him pushing a fucking shopping cart with like 2 things of hoses. I don't know if he like plugs them into houses and he can take a bath that way, or like wash himself down. It's raining. You can tell his clothes are dirty. It's like, regardless if he's got addiction issues with drinking or other things, you know what I mean? Like sometimes, a little compassion can go a long way, but I couldn't catch up to him. But there's not many times that I feel that I will, because I know sometimes these people are fake, where they're pretending to be poor. 3 is no good. Creighton with rebound, 73-61. Marquette's up by 2 with 1 second left. So it looks like Marquette's going to end up winning the game. But some of these guys will fake, and they'll put on dirty clothes, like roll around in the dirt in a ditch or something. And then they'll bum, right? And they'll get money for like 5-6 hours. And then some of these guys will get into their cars, whether it be a Mercedes or whatever. And they're just hoping for that one rich guy to give them a 20 or 100. And they might sit there for, 3-4 hours and maybe make a, $50, maybe make a couple $100, you know what I mean? But of course, if you find out it's someone that's just fake, it kind of makes you lose a little humanity for the ones that really do need it and whatnot. But that is awesome, man. Yeah, Michael Dixon. Yes. Yeah. I think anyone that's had a difficult situation at any point, or have had friends, I mean, you kind of, you have a little bit more compassion there. So Matt in the building. What to do? Oh, it's the best feeling. Like when I can give back to you guys after people give me like the huge donos and then I give something back usually from that if I can. That it's like the best feeling in the world, to try to be able to get people something, you know what I mean? Because it's just not something that, Twitch streamers and YouTube people do. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. I mean, and if it is done, it's done more in a cheaply way, not necessarily taking care of someone like you really, truly have gratitude and are thankful, It's like, if people are doing hundreds or thousands, I mean, sometimes you got to go beyond a t-shirt or something like, very $20 or less. I mean, is that all they mean to you? But, reach in foul. Oh, wow. Reach and foul on the inbound. Wow. So is that Marquette going to go to the line now? So now I think it's really over. Let's look. Oh, he's hugging him. Then there's a flop, though. But 100%. Yeah, that's all. Anything that, I mean, it all depends on what we can afford and what we can do. Yes, that NBA All-Star Weekend was the biggest piece of dog trash. I don't know if I can watch All-Star Weekend anymore. Now the only good All-Star event is the MLB. Like that was literally going back, watching the next morning, Kobe and Marbury, and it's like 103, 102, and they actually played defense the whole game. They didn't even play defense for 5 seconds in the fourth. It's getting to be, I mean, even though Dame won the three, right, Air? Dame won the three, and, you had Mac McClung do the dunk thing. But overall, that was a terrible product. I was more interested in the XFL than what was going on. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. And it's embarrassing sometimes when I have to, just be real, but I feel that, if you show that honesty and you're real, sometimes people think that things are going bad, but they have no idea how deep of the bad really is. And I know, I mean, nothing is guaranteed in life. Nothing is guaranteed every day, but you guys are the best. I appreciate you, man. Oh, look at it. Long three, no good. Marquette wins 73-71. The crowd is pissed. They are booing. 56. Oh. 8 players in the NFL. Wow, they are going crazy. They're booing the refs pretty much. Oh, he's got a cone. Hopefully he'll be okay. What's the surgery for? Not to get fixed. You guys already did that, right? See, this is the type of information that I like to have. Normally that's not something that's going to be like talked about, but those are the type of things that I think about in my head because I'm a stat guy and I'm weird. So it's like, we're talking about certain people. Hey, let's talk about that. That's awesome. I'll remember that now. Noted. Oh, cursing is allowed here. I think we know that. It's a part of my life. Oh, I won't. Yes, they look pretty good. I'm not sure. Maybe, I mean, even if it's not a 3, but it looks like they, there's a few teams that will emerge. I mean, I'm not really sure how good Alabama and Houston are going to be. I know they're great now, but, I think I would trust Kansas a little more with Bill Self. But there is going to be some surprises in this tournament since we don't have a traditional Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky really being great like back in the day. So it'll be interesting to see how everything kind of plays out. I'm almost scared to even look to see what we got going on in here. Oh, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. That helps a lot. Thank you. $200 from my boy Shep. Thank you, man. You have no idea that. Yeah. I mean, like I said, food does get a little expensive, and I mean, like I said, just to like give an example, like me trying to take care of Paisley, getting greenies, like one package of 8 greenies for like their teeth. It's like a dental treatment. It tastes good, right? And then like one little bag of cookies, and you're looking at like $30-some. I mean, shit is expensive, the dog food for just a little bag, $30, so it's like when I'm grinding every day, it's like, you definitely have to, rent and everything else. But thank you so much, man. That and like I said, doing it that way will really help me because like I'll be able to get $199 out of two. If it's done on the super chat, then it's like I'll get it next month and probably get like 100 from it, 110 or 20. So thank you, appreciate you. Yeah, no, shit. I can't even tell you the last time I've been to a strip club, dude. Yeah, definitely wouldn't be doing that. I'd be taking care of the bills, taking care of Paisley, and maybe some good food, and making sure bills and things are situated. My guy, appreciate you. Thank you, man. That's a lot better than being at the $10 mark or $15 mark or $20 mark. That shit gets depressing. And it's like you can deal with it if it's like it happens one day, it's sad, it sucks. Happens 2 days in a row, it gets depressing. 3 days in a row, you're like, my God, are we gonna turn this around? Like, because I don't think anyone would like to work hard for 12 hours and then be sitting at like $30. I don't think anyone would work for that amount. So thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. Air Whitey with a tour. Steve Novak. Let's get that. I'll put it on there. And then let me know what you want to do, Shep, as well. And I'm going to see if I can get a couple photos here for Megan and Sarah. And I'll just start kind of going down the photos here. Good old Scott Hall. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Relationships help you through those. Also did a phenomenal job, Tyler, Omax, of leading, helping their teammates continue to play. And with a game like this, you got to have a short memory. Tyler Kohler, you put the ball in his hands twice down the stretch. He comes through. What makes him special? Well, he's got, a lot of nuts. Yeah, I know, right? $200. That's my reaction. Hey, Chico. We're NWO. Because when you're NWO, you're NWO for life, brother. Oh, yeah. $200 dono. It feels good, man. Like, we've had so many, like, underwhelming streams in the last 2 months. It just feels good. Hell, it feels good to be over 100. I mean, there's been times where we can't even get to that. So, bang, bang. Thank you so much, man. You guys are the real MVPs. And like I said, sometimes it just takes one person to kind of get it going. But if, you don't even have one person start, then it's really hard to gain momentum. It's like, one leads to another. So yes, man, I'll definitely do that. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Air Whitey with a tour. He said some Steve Novak. All right, let me just bust out here. And then let's go back to Megan, and let's see if I can get one more of Daniel. Let me update the final here. Final 73, 71, Marquette. Second place, prime position to earn their second ever Big East regular season title. They're going to conclude this Tuesday in fourth place. In the victory of Villanova's breakout game of the season. How about this moment, though, from Tilly Bloom Plummer? The logo to close out halftime. Okay. Daniel Felelele. Felelele. Hey, LA. Fa lele. Fa Lay. Oh, this is a cool one. Minnesota offensive tackle. Oh, this is a cool one, man. Minnesota's gear is, when they do this, it looks actually pretty fire. Look at this college photo. You got this one, right? But then look at this one. Oh, okay. I see you. Big boy. Daniel Fa'alele. I got one more. Handsome guy. There we go. He's happy. New world order. For life, brother. Oh, yeah. Watch that NWO special, baby. I'm telling you. What do you want to see, Shep? I got you. Whatever you want, I got you for photos. Let me know. Yes, and I appreciate that. It just, if it wasn't so bad on the other side, you know what I mean? Then it's like you get a nice mix of both. But it's just crazy to think, like $100 dono, and you're only going to get like 65 of it. 60, 65, and you got to wait a month. This is brutal, man. It's like they're making millions, billions of dollars off everyone, every single channel. It's just ridiculous. $2 holla wide day. He said, let's get some Steve Novak and some Dwayne Wade. $2 holla. Bang, bang. NBA All-Star game. Trash. All right, let's get some Steve Novak up. Yeah, I had to go smoke a fat-ass pre-roll, too. I got that big cigarette pack of, 5 different pre-rolls, 2 each. And I was like, I don't know how today is going to go, good or bad, but I was like, I got to prepare myself. I got to be mentally okay. Because if I didn't do that, I don't even know if I was going to be able to stream today, to be honest. I mean, I was like, I don't know. I don't know. There's a solid starting five that can beat any of these big teams in that support. But it was good to see my mom today. Yeah, we're going to do a Novak with Dwayne Wade. This is epic. No world order. Chico. I miss Scott Hall. Look at Wade. God, look how baby-faced he is. And I remember watching him and thinking, God damn, this guy is good. Because you had Bosch at Georgia Tech. Dwayne Wade was there. And then you had LeBron going straight out of high school. And then you also had Carmelo Anthony. And he was on Syracuse and he won the championship. How the fuck do I remember all that? I have no idea, but I do.
It has to be Marquette. But what's interesting about their circumstance, Rob, is that other than the completion of the Big East title,
yeah, we love you, man. WCW Lex Luger, they show him in the special too. And you know what the crazy thing is? When the NWO came in as heels, right? And then they were getting cheered like faces. So it was very difficult for guys like Sting, because normally he's the face that gets cheered. But then now what? Are you going to be like an anti-hero? And it was really funny. They actually showed the thing where Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, told Sting, I was like, bro, you got to stop with this like colorful shit. He's like, even if I don't like you, but I was like, if you're going to, I was like, have you seen The Crow? I was like, you need to do your shit like black and white and the trench coat. So Scott Hall was the one that got Sting to be Sting. And like that look, that's so crazy. I never knew that, but he's like, and they interviewed him and he's like, you know what, if it's just going to better the business, you know what I mean? It's like, instead of having someone that's been that face like that Hulk Hogan that whole time, and he's got the blonde hair and the red, blue, and white face paint and the bright trunks, that was cool. But then the times where like Sting himself knew, he's like, fuck, I need to change my image, because they're getting cheered as the bad guys. What does that mean for me? And then, coming down with the baseball bat and all that. And I was like, man, you got to watch it, man. It is so good. So good, Chico. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, 21-6, 18-9. I mean, when you're number 10, you're pretty much, if you're in the top 25, you're in the tourney. So, absolutely. Yes, we appreciate it very much. Okay, let's do the Godfather and Luger. Nice. Yeah, I guess, right? Yeah. White chocolate and see, these are good things. That's why I need you in the room, because when it's slow or when it's busy, I need people that are idea people and people that think quick and people that are, that are similar. Like sometimes, I mean, some people are just a little too, maybe laid back, and I like people that participate, and so we can kind of engage instead of just relying on me to engage and do everything, especially if there's not a whole lot of people in the room. It's, there can only be so much done with me just talking and no one interacting, or very little interaction, so there we go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's start it off with the Ho Train. Let's do Godfather. But if I put in Godfather, it's going to bring up the movie. So I got to put Godfather, WWF, and Ho Train.
When my Marco's Creighton hits, it really hits. And with unlimited medium one-topping pizzas for $6.99 each, I can cover tonight's Creighton's and tomorrow's. Nice.
It's the Godfather and the Ho Train. Oh my gosh. There was crazy people back in the Ho Train too. I think like Stacy Keebler was a part of the Ho Train way early on, and Lita way back in the day, like before people really started getting, their name, and you just have to go back, or if you have good memory. But I mean, I watched all the time, so I always kept my eye on everyone that was going on in the show. But man, back in the DZ. Godfather, old school.
Four Big 12 programs inside this week's AP Top 15. Two of them met in Manhattan tonight as Baylor, off that weekend loss at Kansas, met Kansas State. This went up second half. Wildcats down 3.
The Godfather. Yeah, but I definitely have to transition to more like wrestling stuff too, especially if football's over. I got to keep my mental health up. And so, yeah, that NWO special really was incredible. We had like a Comic-Con type thing here, and they did the Back to the Future cast just a couple days ago. My buddy's buddy went and got a picture or whatever. And I was like, oh, because you already know with Michael J. Fox and his condition and whatnot. But I was like, oh, because my buddy Justin is a real big like 80s and 90s nostalgia guy and stuff, and I thought that he would probably go to that. I mean, anytime it's Goonies related or something related like that, we're pretty big fans of the old school stuff. So, all right, and we gotta do some Lex Luger. Jameson, $3 holla. Okay, let's see here. And if you're not familiar with the Ho Train, that's just what it was called in the WWF. It was him and his, he was a pimp and he had his ladies. All kinds of gimmicks back then. Probably couldn't get away with a lot of the gimmicks back then now, with a lot of the Karens and Kyles complaining literally about everything. Good old Lex Luger. Just got to be careful though with the steroids, because he used to be one of the most fit people, and if you've seen what he looks like now, he's like shriveled up and sick, and it's just sad to see. It's like a shell of himself. But at least I think he's still alive though, so that's good.
Tennessee still owns the #1 defense in all of America, but offensively they struggle at times. And against A&M, who is a hard-driving team, they lived in the paint, Rob.
And that's my favorite era. Like, I love the Hulkamaniacs and, the 80s era Ultimate Warrior, but nothing ever will compare to the 90s. Nothing will ever compare from like 96 to 99, especially, or 94 to 99. I mean, you had ECW, WWF, and WCW all at the very peak. It was incredible. Oh, I'm not talking about you personally. Yeah, I'll even throw some of those up. Let me see what else I can find here. And this always makes me smile too when it's like old, because like I said, I don't get to see that 80s, 90s stuff. And then whenever I get immersed in that culture, like I can sit there and watch it like, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. Like that's my favorite era. Bash at the Beach and just all the guys that were involved back then. Oh, this is cool. Little NWO Wolfpack Luger, because you got to show in the Sting era, where he's like this, and then WCW all the way, and then when everyone turns, right? Dun 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 dun. Don't mess with the wolf pack. You might end up in a body bag. Boom, 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 boom. Fucking NWO, dude. Fucking wolf pack. Oh! New world order. For life, brother. Oh, yeah. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. I swear, if you are a fan, I mean, you after you finish that 2-hour special, you come out different if you were a true fan of NWO. Lots of Bischoff stuff in there. That's what makes it fantastic.
The most fascinating thing for this committee, at least what they suggested to us, is if you do big things, they're very invested in that. So I think Tennessee might be able to battle to hang on to a 3, but they've got to get out of this skid if they're going to stay there.
And coming down to the ring, standing at 6'5", 250 pounds, Lex Luger. Everything was just lit back then. Announcing, Bruce Buffer, all of them were there. Oh my gosh. White chocolate, love it. Let's do that. We'll do Jason Williams. Remember that other Jason Williams that was like convicted for like, you know, some kind of crime? The brother Jason Williams on the Nets. And then we have this one, the better one, the one that could actually throw the dimes. His passing ability was just incredible. I mean, we didn't have too many guys that were, you know, flashy, you know, street ball. And he was always one of my favorites, no matter what. I mean, his skill set was, you know, street ball playground, but he could do like a very like risky pass that would normally be a turnover for like 8 out of 10 people, but he would be able to time it right. And also having athletic people catch it like Weber, you know, it's like when you had certain players. I mean, obviously when they had the team, it was like Bibby, Doug Christie, you know, the good team in the early 2000s. And then when Christie did the fake to Kobe's head and he didn't even flinch, right? Weber, you know, Vlade Divac, you know, Hidu Turkoglu, Peja Stojakovic, Bobby Jackson. Your boy still remembers. But then after that, then you had like a little Jason Williams era. And yeah, great memories with him too. White chocolate. Always like behind the back, behind the head, no look, like just the fanciest of the fancy. Awesome player. My dude. All right, let me do some Pistol Pete. I'll get caught up in the comments here as well. Thank you, Jameson. One thing I do know is I think that the NBA, if they're going to make all these changes and they're making everything worse, right, then I guess at some point they got to make something better. So they probably should make the NBA logo change to like Kobe or Jordan, you know, instead of doing Jerry West. At some point, I know the history is good, but if you're able to ruin everything good about the All-Star game, you know, and even though the NBA logo is awesome, you know, having Kobe, you know, do like a jumper for like the new logo or Jordan, I think, you know, doing the, you know, because you already have the Jumpman, you know, and that brand. So you can't really use that because he's already so famous. But to honor Kobe Bryant with doing like the jumper, you know, as the new logo, I think that would be insanely tight. Like that would be something that I think everyone would be like okay with. Maybe not Jerry West himself, but if we are going to get a logo change, the Jordan logo, if he wasn't so famous and big, yeah, that would be the one to change it to. But he already makes so much money. The Jordan line, you know, Jordan brand this, Jordan brand that. So you might as well just go to like the unique one with Kobe with the jump shot. I don't know. Maybe I can talk it into existence and all of a sudden like 2 years from now. And the NBA has decided that the new logo will be Kobe Bryant. There you go. I'm talking it into the universe. You feel me? Chico. Yeah, keep doing it, man. I mean, like I said, usually when Cyber comes in, he'll keep doing it too. But anytime I can throw like, some old like Vader or old school people if I see it. So bell pepper, red onion, egg white omelet tomorrow. Yeah. Heck yeah, man. The more the veggie, the more ingredients, the better. That's like how I end up, trying to do like burgers and anything the more the better. Pizza, more the better. Give me all the options. Jameson Mesa with a 3, or what do you want to see, brother? $3 holla. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Cactus Jack approves. Bang, bang. New world order. 4 live, brother. Everything was so perfect too. And then another kind of cool, fun tidbit, Eric Bischoff, when they did the NWO, a lot of times they were talking like Vince would be like, 3 months ahead in storyline, 6 months in storyline. They were like week to week, like day to day. They didn't even know where they were going with it. You know what I mean? And they needed to be able to sell merch when Hogan did the turn. And Hogan had creative control, and that's a big part of why some of the things went down the way that they did. But then they worked at Disney, like in Orlando, where they were shooting, and they had the Disney execs, go through, and he said he saw like 10 different options, and then they saw the spray paint one, and Bischoff's like, that's it. And a big part of the NWO is not just the look, the name, who was involved, right, but also the music, that they chose and the way that they did the promos. I mean, everything was just absolutely just perfect to showcase a heel being cheered like a face. Incredible. You'll never see that again. Not to that magnitude. $3 holla, bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. $3 holla. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Let me know what you want to see, and I got you. Pistol Pete. Yeah, don't even worry. Whenever I say things like that, it's never you, because like I said, if some of us are going through like mental health or physical health issues, or I don't expect certain people to talk at all. Honestly, it's like, you know what I mean. But it just depends on who's in the room, and obviously, engaging is a day-to-day thing. Some people are going to be more engaging than others. So keep doing that, brother. Yes, thank you, Jameson. He's like, everybody come back and help your boy out. Yeah, I hope so. Let him know, Shep. Papa Shango. I mean, like I said, I've been getting some like, dude, I've been trying to do like so many different things to get kind of my name out there and whatnot. But like, if I go back and just look, at some of the stuff that I've done, you know what I mean? Like, if you just look at the channel, right? And here, let me go here. Papa Shango will get next. But okay, we did the Marquette and Creighton. Then I did Kansas and TCU. Then I did the All-Star Game. Then I did Daytona 500. Then I did Elimination Chamber, WWE. Then I did XFL. Then I did the Jordan Rising Stars. Then I did Suns Clippers. Then, it's like I'm trying to just put my hat into so many things. And then even on Twitter, sometimes like the things that I don't think are going to do really that good, they end up being like much better, like anticipated, because usually we'll get like 30 to 100 extra views. But from the Kansas TCU, I got 173 people that watched on Twitter alone. So it's like, and sometimes, you're going to get like 100 to 500 views. Sometimes you'll go 500 to 1,000. And then if you get a little bit of recommendation, people will flood in to the channel. So, I mean, if I can keep grinding on there, we just got to hope that the people that are watching on Twitter aren't just going to be looky-loos, that some of them will eventually, if they want to donate or sub or, help me out, that they'll hop over from Twitter, but at least it's getting me more exposure so we can get more famous people to be able to spy on what I'm doing and then stealing my content, and then we can talk about it later. Papa Shango, let's get it. Good choice. And like I said, if you're around my age range too, 35 to 45, you're gonna vibe with me probably on a deeper level, just because we're gonna have more in common. I think me and Jameson probably, I mean, besides, Sarah's around my age as well, but Jameson, I feel, as far as age and Shep and Sarah, there's a few, but like, pretty much anything that I go over nostalgia wise, they, either experienced it as well or have heard of it, or maybe they didn't own that, but their friend did. Oh, let's go. New world order. Papa Shango. 4 live, brother. Oh, yeah. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Oh! Let's go. Don't even worry. Don't even worry.
What inspired you to now pursue?
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking she's going to get her moment. You know what I mean? Certain people need to be able to. I hope that Asuka and Ripley both get their moment. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I mean, they can always give the belts back to Bianca and Charlotte. But I mean, if they want to be able to push the women division to the next height, and we have 4 goats, that are just like emerging, and that's a lot better than just like 1 or 2. And then it will go for better feuds, moving forward too. If you can drop the belt to Asuka and to Ripley, even if it's only for temporary, if you want to be a hater and only do it for a month or a couple days or a week, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
One-year program where you bring world leaders in. We have to move the campus for a year of.
I like both of them a lot. Like Asuka's, new vibe and, aggressive, strong style, like Shinsuke, and then you also obviously get Ripley just being Ripley. And I love Judgment Day. That's my favorite faction right now. I mean, besides the Elite. Yes, I will. No worries. $10 holla. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $10 holla. Appreciate you. Let's do some debt left. I'll try to get some ones that maybe don't fit the screen, but they're weird and rare, and let's do that. Thank you so much. Feels good to have a good stream. Yeah, it's like, it's like when you do this full time, you can only take so many days of like underwhelming streams where it starts to affect you. But, again, we have a great team here, and, as long as I keep the faith and we have the right people, I know we'll make it on the other side. So. $10 holla, bang, 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 boom, 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 bang, bang. $10 holla. Thank you so much. Thank you. No worries. You do plenty when you can, and you do more than most people do, so don't worry about that. Yeah, seriously, everyone. It was the WWF and WCW were so different back then, with all the different characters and the gimmicks. Candace in the building. She was in here at the very end of my stream, but I had to go. She came in with like a minute or 2 minutes to go, so I apologize that I had to leave at that time, but I'm glad you're here early. Sarah's in the building. You guys can mingle and say hello, and I hope you're doing well. Daryl Dawkins, let's do it. Great choice. See, and like just being able to, have the knowledge of the certain things and to be able to name drop. Not everyone is going to be familiar with, wrestling and NASCAR and baseball. All of us can come here together for football, but a lot of us go above and beyond football with other things. So I don't expect everyone to be on the same level on like many, many things. I'm a freak, like, you know what I mean? Like, as far as like covering everything, like there's some people that are in the room that are like me in here that do that, but it's one of those things that takes a lot of effort, but it's kind of just who we are, I just want to know what's going on. I don't want to get left in the loop, and it's not ever like I need to read this and watch this film to be right, or to fight people. It's more like I just want to be able to keep up so that way I can vibe and connect with every fan base. And if I get someone that's being an idiot, like a newbie or someone that's saying, crazy things and they want to go to battle and, on the microphone, well, then, you better bring your boxing gloves. Otherwise, it'll be Mike Tyson on your ass real quick, unless you know what you're talking about. So. Oh, we got Gus Johnson special. What is this? Back to school with Gus Johnson. Broadcaster Gus Johnson returns to school for a year-long prestigious fellowship program at Harvard. Wow. Gus is the best. Gus, I wish Gus would do it. I wish Gus would be like the number one guy. Like Gus, honestly, if they had Gus, right? Gus on Fox, it would get way more ratings. You know what I mean? Like I know what you got going on there with Olsen, and you're going to have Brady in there, but I think Gus could challenge Nance and Romo, depending on who, if it was Gus and Joel Klatt or Gus and another person, whether that be Brady or whatever. But I really think that Gus could compete, and honestly, like, between the two of them, they're the most, Jim Nantz is the most professional, and he knows everything, and he's smooth, and he's the most talented. And then Romo, we'll do the prediction stuff, right? Right. But with Gus brings the most authentic commentary and passion, natural passion in his voice for what he's doing. Not to, look at me, I'm screaming and yelling, but it's in a genuine passion fashion. And to me, Gus is by far the best. It's like Gus and everyone's below him. Like I said, he entertains me. I mean, shit, they could have Gus do a PB&J sandwich tournament. I saw one thing that they're doing how they do like the bitch slap tournament where they're slapping, the dudes are slapping each other in the face in the tournament. Now the new thing is pillow fight tournament. They're doing tournaments and leagues out of anything. Pillow fighting league? Is that what America is coming to? I guess so. But I'll tell you what, if Gus Johnson is commentating the pillow fighting league, maybe I tune in. Maybe I never tune in before that, but love me some Gus. Oh, DeMar was? Let me get you some Daryl Dawkins, baby. Daryl Dawkins. Luger. I'm going to get that photo for you, Chico.
Write a recommendation letter for me. I needed 3 recommendation letters. And he said, absolutely. I presented it to the university's faculty leadership. They had to take a vote. They voted. I'm going to tell you this is one thing I'm proud of, and I'm just going to share this with y'all. In the history of the Advanced Leadership Initiative, which goes back to...
Oh, this one's cool. It's got Moses Malone and Daryl Dawkins, just like a side by side. God, this is crazy, dude. Like when you haven't seen players in a long time, and then you see the photos, it just definitely floods back of that. I think the jerseys were so dope back then.
So I ended up going back to school, and I'm up at school right now. And, it's been a wonderful experience.
Gus is the man. The Gus can do anything, but I think him doing college football is great for the sport, because you need that. But him, and he can do college hoops, he can do NBA. Gus can do anything. I try to model my game after people like him. There's certain people that are idols of mine. Like obviously my heroes are my dad and Ken Griffey Jr., but guys that I look up to from their stories, like Howard Stern and his grind and where he got to, even though people were against him, and being able to see the talented people and work in their craft, like a Jim Nantz or a Madden and Summerall, who were my favorite growing up as kids. Keith Jackson doing Pac-10 games on ABC for my Ducks, but Gus is by far my favorite out of anybody that does games. Period. He is the man. But see, me being a Blazer fan, even bringing that up, I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. Like at some point, if you want to keep it the same with the dribbling. But Kobe with the jump shot would be the perfect outline to have on the bottom of the shorts or on the jersey, I think. Matt's like, I don't know what's going on. You need to get into a time machine and go back. Go back in time, baby. There we go. Mark Price, Craig Elo, right? Larry Nance, Brad Doherty. How do I remember these things? I have no idea, but I do. Look at you. You do. And I appreciate that because there's people that can go toe to toe with me, and then, we can go through because I do take a lot of pride on the amount of reading that I do for every single thing I do, trying to be good in everything. It's hard, to be knowledgeable in everything because most people can't put on that commitment. But yeah, I can always tell within the first minute or two when I talk to someone if they know, some things and they know a lot, or if they know nothing and they're trying to front, Ooh, David Thompson. I'd rather have people keep me busy too, because sometimes when it's slow, like let's say that you're not here, right? I might be just sitting in there, and, I might be showing some pictures of food or something, but I'm just waiting for someone to kind of give me some, suggestions on certain things. And, I'd rather work than not work. I'd rather be clicking buttons and working, throughout the time period and showing off more, photos for the visual experience rather than, just going to our food as just like the, nothing to do. Let's just go here and stuff. But I mean, food is always good too, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Chico? All right, I need to delete some of these photos. We're stacking photos.
Best thing about OnlyFans, honestly, everything. You almost forget about the deal that you're getting. Same premium quality as Lululemon, but at a third of the price.
All right. Monday, time to rinse and repeat. Big week this week. Gotta go to my Montezuma's Mexico class with Dr. Carrasco. We're working on the project this week, the backpack initiative. Then on Wednesday, we got ALI.
I think there's like an old school baseball game I think I need to watch. I love Gus, but let me see what else is on here. 2023 Daytona 500s at 9. Ooh. Oh, here we go. MLB 20 greatest games. And they actually ranked the 91 World Series Game 7 when it was 0-0. And then the Braves beat the Twins as like the number 2 ranked game of all time in like World Series history. And that was just on before this. And now they're showing, I love this old footage. Okay, we got Bob Costas is doing 1975 World Series. So this is before I was born. And what is it? It's game 6 of the Reds and Red Sox. All right, I'm watching that. I'm watching that in the background. I'm ready for baseball anyways.
And I'm sitting at home and I'm thinking, could I make that play in that situation? So I'm walking back to the mound. All of a sudden, I thought about that. It came to my mind. I thought, you can't, I just did it. And so I went back to the mound, threw the ball around the infield, and I get ready to face the next hitter, and Morgan's running in. And he says, he just runs in, looked back, said, you made a great play, and we're ran back to the position.
Now, Burleson follows by popping out, and here's Carbo.
Yeah.
We tied it in the 8th. He could win it in the bottom of the 10th. What are you telling Darcy out there?
He's still going to throw the 6th. I mean, Bernie liked to extend his arm ball out over the plate. But, I mean, we were in a situation where Pat had to be the guy. He had to be the man in that situation. Already he's come back against Evans, and now he's got Burleson. I mean, there's the fastball again, and he's late and he's swinging through it. So, I mean, it's just a matter of one pitch at one time. And Pat did a heck of a job.
All right, here we go now. Top of the 11th, and Pete Rose is up.
Oh, Pete Rose is up. Nice. Charlie Hustle. Oh, it hit him.
Although we couldn't see it underneath the
It looks like how come he doesn't run immediately to first base?
Well, he just wants to confirm.
All right, so here's Griffey.
Oh, Ken Griffey Sr. Yes. Perfect timing for me to flip to this so I can see Ken Griffey Jr.'s dad. Oh, yeah. Goes for a bunt.
It's so good. I mean, he did so many things with it. I mean, if he needed a bunt, if he dropped one down and get the extra base hit, took the extra base, stole bases.
One in front of the plate. Fisk is going to go to second. The throw is in time. Fine throw by Carlton Fisk.
See, now, they would have been out there arguing, right?
If this doesn't bring you back into the fucking time machine, this next photo, nothing will. Before I saw the photo and then after I saw the photo. Okay, let's go hop in the DeLorean. Chico. Let's go back to Rick Barry time. Jeez, wow, look at that. Hair flowing. He's New World Order.
He throws hard. He throws hard. And he challenges you. Well hit right field. Pete Evans is going back in the wall. And oh, what a catch he made.
Oh, this is kind of cool. Oh, I don't know if it'll bring it up.
Greatest ever. I mean, they'll never get credit for it. Louis always said that, and you could probably confirm that, the balls hit that way always went to the corner.
When you're a kid and you're growing up in the 80s and the early 90s and you're looking for like, you got toys, but then you're looking for like that sports stuff. I mean, you can't tell me that if this wasn't in the stores now, like that you wouldn't want. I mean, as a kid, this is the ultimate, dude. You get the figure, you get some cards in there, cool packaging. I mean, this was just a vibe at Toys R Us, man. And then you'd be surprised that, of course, like the Jordans and the Birds and the Magics, and, I have a lot of those. But if you get like random ones, like, like a Mark Price, who fucking bought Mark Price, right? So sometimes you'll have these like no-name ones that are worth a shitload of money because nobody fucking bought them. Like there was a mass-produced on some, but some are rare. But this is the type of shit that I like to collect back in like the 80s and 90s. That reminds me of my childhood. And I got a lot of the stuff from 88, 89, because they debuted in 88 and they lost their contract in 2000. Then 2001, Todd McFarlane, that does Spawn for the comics, bought it and bought the rights to everything. NASCAR, NHL, NBA, MLB, NFL, and started making figures. And then starting lineup was done. But still, even though some aren't really worth a lot, they're very, very cool, Chico.
I knew he was going to make it out. It was not going to be a home run, but I didn't know if he had time because it wasn't a high slogan ball. It was more of a line drive.
That's who Bob McAdoo. I was like, I could do a normal Mark Price photo, but that one's too good. It's a figure. It's awesome. But I got one action shot. Let's see if I can pull it up for Mark Price. And anytime you think Mark Price, Craig Elo, you think Jordan, him making the big shot on them. And at least that's, Brad Doherty, Larry Nance, they had a little squad. Craig Elo. Look at him and Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing.
Turn to my left and go towards the line a little bit because the ball is going to carry to my left. And you see this. I am moving to my left. Now I got to go back. And if I go back, I kind of jump up and I jump back because the ball is actually.
See if I can get a fucking one here. Come on, baby. Tried the first one. It said, fuck you. Second one said, good. Okay. My first Bob McAdoo one said, fuck you, O-Dog, and then didn't format, but the second one did. Eh? Buffalo Braves. 2:30. Let's get to 3. Yes, you do. And that's why we get along so well. The Matt Beatty blasted back in the future with the O-Dog crew. Yeah, it always helps. And like I said, even if, people don't do it for the pictures, you know what I mean? But like I said, this is a place where people can gather and can help with mental health. So, obviously there's going to be therapists and proper people, friends and family, but sometimes having an online place where you feel safe and you have friends and it's not like a bunch of assholes or a bunch of arguments, it's refreshing. Because I feel that, this is one of the very few places that's left that's like that. Of course, when we get bigger, we're going to have to work hard to preserve the vibe and get rid of the bad people. But, it's like there's so many places that are so popular and have so many people. That's awesome. But, if the chat ends up being toxic, I mean, I don't want that for my brand. So, and like I said, I think that all of us help each other with our mental health, regardless of what it is. So.
I don't know how loose he was getting in there. He doesn't do this. So I was concerned because this is not his forte.
Yeah, we did video games last night. So it was slow and there wasn't a whole lot of people. But sometimes there's been times where it's just been literally like me and Jameson or me and Elliot. And it's just like no one else is there. And then I was like, all right, what are we doing? Let's just do something cool. Who cares where we're at? Let's just have fun. And yeah, and then it went down the video game rabbit hole with the Sega, Super Nintendo, asteroids, like, going into Nintendo games and not only showing the covers of the games, but actual gameplay. And when you start seeing some of that, it's a blast from the past, dude. It's like, that's one thing that will always make me happy. It's like before the video game talk and then, after. And then we hop in the DeLorean back in time. All right, JoJo White, Willis Reed.
Well, it is an interesting at bat because if he happens to get on somehow or walk an infield hit, maybe he goes, sure, he'd go pinch hitter. And maybe Kirby has to come in again.
They told me, you're the guy. I thought he was a good hitter. That's the thing.
Oh, I was going to bring on JoJo White, but it rendered as something shitty. We don't want to do that one. I don't know. I'm just a guy. I'm just, just being a collector and just being a person that loves history. I think I just want to be able to preserve, the history and the memorabilia and the collectibles and, be able to keep those memories alive for this younger generation. So they just don't go into life thinking that LeBron James is the best athlete of all time, Chico, because obviously that is not true. Like, you'd be ashamed of saying that. Being like the best player they've ever seen. Well, which might be true if they're only a certain age, but if you go back and do your history, I mean, Kobe and Jordan are so much higher, it's not even funny.
We have reached the moment of truth. Coming up, will it stay fair? I know the answer, but we'll pose the question anyway.
MLB's 20 greatest games. Oh my God. Willis Reed and Wilt Chamberlain, black and white. Chico. This is a good one. This might be one of the best ones of the night so far. Anything Wilt is really dope, especially if you can find it in black and white. I mean, because he was spending most of his time with women, so he wasn't on the basketball court a lot, Chico. Okay? He was trying to live his best life. Oh, man, that is slick. Side view, too. Definitely New World Order. Oh, yeah. Gus Johnson and Charles Davis was my, Joel Klatt does a fantastic job and they do have good chemistry. And Charles could actually probably do play-by-play also. He's really knowledgeable. And it seems like if they, gave him a shot to do it, I think Charles could do it. You know what I mean? So he's like kind of like a mini Gus. And maybe that's why they moved them off of each other. So that way that Charles could do other things with other people and they could bring in Klatt. But that's a fantastic duo. I totally agree. I could listen to those two guys forever. For sure. And Gus and Joel, because we want to make sure that Joel's not recognized. Joel is good too. He pairs well with Gus. And he gets passionate too. I mean, it's hard not to get passionate when Gus is going fucking crazy on the mic in a real genuine way. I've never heard anyone else in sports be so genuine and passionate and entertaining than him. He just does it naturally because he loves the game. And you can tell with the people that love the game and the people that are just, trying to, raise their voice as for show, as some people do on YouTube and Twitch. They scream and yell and they have all this like fake emotion. You know what I mean? It's not really who they are. They're just putting on a show. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You're the best. Hey, yo. Now, it's a for life, man. It's too sweet. What's good? Got to watch that NWO special, Michael. It's really good. A&E, NWO, Season 3, Episode 1. Just aired a couple days ago.
Stop taking my pajamas. Oh, Larry, I can watch you while watching you. Why would you do that? It's exciting, man. Little to do. Stop. I used to NFL play-by-play at work. See some of baseball's best prospects compete in the Andre Dawson Classic right here on MLB Network, featuring top teams from the nation's historically black colleges and universities. Don't miss a moment. Friday at 2 and 8 Eastern on MLB Network.
This is him power cleaning 390. I mean, sometimes having something so specific like that, sometimes you'll be able to find stuff and sometimes you can't because it's just going to be too blurry but if you know what to type in and write keywords, shit, your boy can find it. We are good. How are you doing?
Third inning pitching, pumped up, still pumped up.
Yes. Yeah, they're about to go into it right now.
Do not walk anybody. That was my mentality. Just get them all over the plate.
Hell yeah, man. I'm telling you, watching the old school stuff, even if it's something, silly as like Tiny Toons or Animaniacs, bro. I watched that, dude, DuckTales, fucking Gargoyles, like anything that was in the block, of cartoons, Batman, X-Men. I watched that shit. You know what I mean? Like that shit was always going to be something that I would make time for, regardless on, obviously now I like to do more of like the 80s stuff, Transformers, Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, and G.I. Joe I watch every day. No lie. I watch 30 minutes to an hour every day to make sure my mental health is good. So not JT in the building. What to do?
6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Boston. And this will lead it off as a single and has walked twice. Been on base 3 times. Actually was safe on a 4th play.
Oh yeah, boomerang. Yeah. Yeah. And then I like stuff that's not on anymore, really, like regular show. Mordecai and Rigby. Like I feel like that cartoon, as far as being around in the last 20 years, like Rick and Morty is more edgy, but I feel like the characters, if you watch that one is a good fucking watch. I've never seen a bad episode of, they had Adventure Time, but that really wasn't for me. I didn't connect to that one, but the regular show was in that same block with Adventure Time, and I could watch both. Don't get me wrong, but I definitely enjoy regular show more, and you can fall in love with those characters, and it's a good watch. Home run. 1975 World Series, Game 6. They're trying to see if it was fair or foul. Some people just need the Soul Train. Yeah. Well, it also helps to have people like you to be able to, do nice things. And, I tried to be able to, follow an example. I feel like I already try to do things on my own, but it's like when you're surrounded around good people, it makes you want to be a good person, even though you already know you're a good person and you're trying to be better than you were before. You know what I mean? But just seeing that act of sympathy and empathy and kindness when you can do it, it's just like when you go to places and people tip and people don't tip. I don't like it when people don't tip. You're asking for people to like spit in your food or fuck with your food. I mean, sometimes they can reject the order, but imagine if you were driving, and delivering food and there was no tip on there. I mean, that's what they get paid on. And I get sometimes people are like, oh, I can't afford it. You can, but you choose not to. And you know what I mean? You choose to be able to spend that other money on whatever, that you feel that's important. But, I always make sure, like if I go to my dispensary or I go to my favorite teriyaki place with the old Asian lady, I always make sure, I do something, you know what I mean? And try to help when you can, you don't have to, but, just a little gratitude here and there. So, especially when people kind of work on some of those tips and, maybe they don't get a whole lot. So it'd be kind of nice, Oh, Kids WB. Yeah. Yeah, that happens. The younger generation will be the younger generation, but there are people that are part of the younger generation that are smart, like middle age and the OG people that are older, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old. It just depends if you're biased or not. I feel if you're biased, it doesn't matter what age you are. You could be 10, you could be 100. You're going to be like thinking the same way. But if you try to be a little bit more open-minded about sports, recognizing who your favorites are, teams and players, but just having a different perspective on it, it definitely makes conversations go better when you can talk with people that aren't overly biased. Of course, all of us have a little bias in us on certain things, but it's just to be able to recognize it, and not be so extra or over the top. You know what I mean? Because we already know what it's like with fan bases. It's almost impossible to get along with other people in a fan base because you do get smart people, but you get dumb people that think they know football and think they know sports or whatever, and they clearly don't. They just like to argue. So.
Executive is in the back of the truck, and he looks up at one of the secondary runners and says, "Look at that!" And they realized what they had.
Someone can hook her up with the Discord. Fuck, I haven't even been on the Discord in a while. Let me get you some Detlef here. I got preoccupied. I haven't forgot about you. Just try to get caught up in the comments, and let's get some Detlef Schrempeth. Yeah, but I'm glad we got a good turnout and things worked out because of Shep and a lot of y'all. Otherwise, I probably would have went to go smoke another pre-roll by now outside and try to figure out how I'm feeling. Fuck, I haven't even opened the Discord.
They lost 70-72,
I don't even know if I have the link for the Discord anymore because I haven't brought it up in a long time.
in the clubhouse, and what a great game.
We used to use it pretty often, but I haven't used it in a long time.
John, this is the best game you've ever seen.
There were so many, I mean, as we've talked about for all this period of time, there were so many wonderful segments of the game. I mean, we should have won it, they should have won it, we should have won it, they should have won it. We should have won it, we should have won it.
Bird, Kobe, Jordan. Bird was special too. Like I said, I read a book about him when I was really, really young about work ethic and his drive. And, you know, he could have went to Indiana, you know what I mean? But there was problems and shit, Bobby Knight and everything. And he had to go to Indiana State. Like if you actually go back and read like the Larry Bird book, there's like a couple of them that he wrote, like autobiography kind of style. It definitely motivated me, you know, but it also taught me. And, you know, it's like, no matter if you feel that, you know, you're going to go to the NBA and you're like this little kid, and then you start to realize that there's big old brothers and other big white dudes that are like 6'8", 7 foot in like high school. And you're like, well, yeah, I probably am not going to the NBA. Like, you know, sometimes you got to get off that, that realism that, you know, hey, 6 foot, half Asian dudes don't really make the NBA. I mean, it's not impossible. You know, you've had guys like Jeremy Lin and whatnot, but, you know, but I always knew my voice would be something that would be my legacy. But I always had those dreams, you know. I was like, man, it'd be really dope to be in the NBA. I always wanted to be like 6'6", 6'8", but my mom was 5 foot, my dad was 6 foot, so I prayed to be 6 foot. So that way I wouldn't be 5'5" or lower, which if I ended up being that height, I wouldn't have cared. But, you know, I would have cared a little, but I mean, you know, I was glad I got to that particular height. Chico.
World Series, everybody still wanted a big red machine, which was considered at that time so great, but yet unable to prove it. We lost 2 World Series, we lose again. I mean, we're the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, bro, you know, on Twitter, they'll bring up stuff of like, you know, it'll have, you know, like Bill Walton, it'll have, you know, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, you know, Danny Ainge, you know, it'll Dennis Johnson, Bird.
Forever connected with Carlton, obviously. Did you ever get a chance to talk to him about the game?
We've been a few times now, you know, different card shows, things like that. So we've talked.
There's Detlef at a like a gala. Detlef Schrempeth. Detlef. Yeah, McHale was awesome. I mean, very underrated. You know, people this big white dude. You know, but you actually watched. And even Robert Parrish was underrated. You know, like having that crew, each guy did their role, and they did it really, really well. But yeah, definitely Kevin would never end up really getting a lot of love. You know, because you had Bird there, and he was better. And you know, McHale was 2. He was the number 2. Parrish was the 3. Even though you had Dennis Johnson and Ainge and a few others, but. I mean, there was kind of Bird is like legend, and then Kevin McHale was a really good player, but I think a lot of people didn't really realize that how special he really was until after he was done playing. Or if you actually followed the rivalry with the Celtics and the Lakers, and you're like, wow, you're like, this is really intense. Yeah, but the up and unders and the, you know, back down, pump fake up hard, right, drop step, and then up and under for layups. I mean, the guy was a fucking wizard, dude. I mean, I can't tell you how many, and I actually emulated some of those things that I would watch, you know, back in the day when I would play like on my teams in 5th grade, you know, 6th grade, 7th grade. I was the point guard or the shooting guard, but I was always the guy that would back down and I would post up the guards, you know, and I would do the up and unders and I would dominate down low. Cause that way, if I played point guard, you know, they don't assume the point guard's going to be doing fucking post moves like our centers, like back then that were like 6 foot and maybe I'm like 5'8" or whatever. But like my dad worked with me with those and fucking, I would score at will down low. Cause usually I had guys that weren't as strong as me and I could juke them. And then if they doubled, I was smart enough to be able to dish. And then I had guys that were power forward, DJ Gilbertson and Corey Parrish. And they would, I mean, the team that we had when we won the championship in 7th grade, we had 3 Asian guys in the lineup. It was Toro Hem, like Cambodian, point guard. He was very shifty and quick, almost like an Asian Steph Curry back in the day. Then we had a Korean guy named Dae Yi, and he wore the goggles, like some of the players like James Worthy wore, right? And then I was in the lineup, and then we had two big white dudes, DJ Gilbertson, the power forward, and Corey Parrish. We fucking ran everybody. And then our bench was really good. A lot of players that played like baseball and football and basketball, and so we rotated guys. But special time. And yeah, Mikhail was the man. And I always used to watch his shit, and I'm like, damn. I was like, this guy, the up and under is amazing. And not a lot of people would do that. Back down, really hard pump fake. Like you really are going to shoot it. They jump, then you drop step, across your body, left foot going over towards the right side, and then you up and under, a little layup. I mean, it's a play that you can do on the playground even today, and you can score almost at will. So. Well, at the time, being the height that I was, you know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't good enough, and you just have to come to the realization, you know what I mean? No matter how hard you work, if you're a 6 foot, half Asian guy, half Japanese, half European, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? But I always knew with my voice, and a lot of people told me at a very early age too, they're like, you're going to be on TV or radio, or it was really before podcasts or YouTube existed, but they're like, you're going to do something with your voice. And that's when I knew, when I was like 15, 16, 17, that was going to be what is my legacy is about. So, and I can still talk about sports. I just can't play. Oh yeah.
I told Sparky, Sparky's, he's down there, he's all worried. I said, but Sparky, don't worry about it. I said, you see how they reacted that home run? We got him right where we want. Don't worry about it. He said, you guys are a big red machine. You never won nothing. I said, just relax. Take it easy. Just go get in a good night's sleep. Come back tomorrow. And we went and got a good night's sleep. Come back tomorrow. Won the World Series.
And Game 7 was memorable in its own right, although it'll never match up with Game 6.
Oh, look at that with the Lakers. And then they obviously had, Celtics versus Lakers, Blazers versus Bulls on Genesis, and that one had the players' names in it. And good memories back then.
They win the World Series. But when it comes to this game, the number one game.
Absolutely. They had every guy did their role. Larry was a superstar, but the best thing about Larry was his passing ability to me. The guy on his uncanny awareness, like magic, where they had eyes in the back of their head and they always knew where Parrish or Mikhail would be. And even though there's like hands going in, trying to steal the ball, he could get the ball and just be like, and it would go almost perfect. Like it was very rarely a turnover. Like if you saw them do those plays, it's not like Magic and Bird where, they were doing fancy shit, but sometimes they had to do the fancy shit to get the angle, to get the ball around the really good defenders that they were going against. If they were going against like Lakers and Kareem or Worthy, it's not like you can do just a normal pass sometimes when you have elite players going against elite players, but that was something else. For shizzle. Oh, yeah.
Everywhere I go, I speak a lot, and people ask me about the 6th game and everything else. But more than that, the fact that the 7th game took us to where we were, I love it because.
Yeah, well, Boston will be in the running.
So I love this thing. And we beat the Red Sox in 75, and they started mumbling.
Oh, Parrish, and everyone thought, like Parrish wasn't Patrick Ewing or Olajuwon or David Robinson. It was kind of slow. You know what I mean? But sometimes slow and steady wins the race. And, even though he wasn't, like those guys, he still was effective. You know what I mean? Like for what he did. It's like Rick Smits, it's like you might not have been the best player, but you made the difference when you were there. Defense, rebounding, and sometimes garbage hoops and scoring. This is cool, man. I haven't seen a lot of these guys and photos from the 80s in a while. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm finally caught up. I'm caught up. It only took me, and that's what I like. I like it when it takes me forever to get caught up. It's like if I know that conversation is flowing and we got plenty of people in the room, you know what I mean? It's just when it gets to like a standstill and you're just like waiting for the next person to say something or whatever. And, I can watch TV and do certain things, but it's always good when, you can maybe get a little backed up on some of the comments and whatnot. And I appreciate you guys very, very much.
But, we were big red machine. We were supposed to win games like that. And we could.
Oh, Mango Madness Snapple. And I still got to go to the store tonight because just in case that snow comes, I don't know if the snow will cancel, school and whatnot. But I want to be able to get those Lunchables, for her just in case and whatnot, and get that in. And then hopefully I'll be able to pick up my mom tomorrow. But supposedly it's going to start snowing at 1 a.m. and be consistently throughout the whole day, but probably not a lot. At least I'm hoping not, because I need to get in this SUV and get to my mom and then take her to Washington Square, the mall area where they have like an optometrist person that can take a look at her eye and make sure it's okay. So that was going to be at like 10 o'clock. So, I mean, if it's snowing from 1 to 10 a.m., fuck. So, and then maybe they'll be closed. So I'll have to call my mom in the morning and stuff. But it's probably good that we got that taken care of. And, and like I said, it's much better if I take her than having some stranger, try to take her, because she doesn't even know how Uber and Lyft work. I mean, she doesn't even have a regular cell phone. Like, she's definitely doesn't really know how to use a TV or a DVR. Like, I try to teach her certain things, but she's the type is like so old school that she has to write things down on like sticky notes and stuff. Like, she kind of gets it, but I mean, once I show her, sometimes she'll pick it up and stuff. But I mean, obviously not really into the technology side of things. But I mean, hell, she's like 80, so it's like, I know she's been living here for quite some time and whatnot, but yeah, she's never really been, a technology type of person. But it is nice to be able to see her have a interest in Paisley, even though she keeps calling Paisley a boy. Because when we had a dog, it was Gito, and it was a purebred Samoyed, and it was a boy. I was like, it's a girl, But Paisley knows who she is now. So, but I don't want her to accidentally jump up and like scratch her eye or something while she just had this thing. So I have to wait for her eye to heal up, and then I can have my mom. I can take her and have her visit and stuff. So. Okay, what am I watching? What's NFL games of the year? Chiefs and Bengals. Maybe I'll watch a little bit of this. All right, Chiefs and Bengals from week 13 of this year. All right, it's about to start, so maybe I'll watch this. Okay, well, I guess I'm watching this then. All right, NFL Network, you want to watch a game with me? Top 10 games of the 2022 season. Number 8 is going to be the Bengals and the Chiefs 2022 week 13. So I guess that's what I'm going to be watching then. Two 30. Let's get to 3. It's already been above and beyond than I could ever imagine. So. Oh yeah, technology. I mean, my mom was born in way back in the day, in like the 40s. My dad was born in the early 50s and stuff. But my dad is a little bit more hip with the technology and whatnot. But I try to help her out, as much as I can. And we didn't have a very good relationship, early on, just because my mom was going through like the pain of the divorce with my dad and didn't know how to act right, with feelings and shit. Just was like screaming all the fucking time. And she never drank and never smoked, and that was probably a part of it too, that she never had a release. So her release was yelling at me and my dad. So there was a long time where I didn't get along with my mom, but we definitely patched things up, and it feels good to be able to, because she never really was the type of person to say like I love you, and she does it now and stuff. So it's like some parents do it, some family members do it, some family members don't. Sometimes tough love, sometimes it's just culture thing and stuff, but. Yeah, but it feels good when you can get along with family rather than not, You can only have a grudge or be mad for so long. Unless it's something that's really serious that deserves, the cutoff or whatever, based off the what happened. So said 50, 40, 90. Shebs, I was born in 1995. So I find a good Larry Bird one in here. Larry Legend. 2nd down and 7. 9-2 Chiefs. 7-4 Bengals. Shotgun set for Burrow. Nice pass. Hunter. Hayden Hurst. Oh, my. Nice catch. All right, so let's try to get some Larry Legend in here. Larry Legend. Let's get some Larry. Larry.
Today it's hard. Can't put man coverage all day on the outside. You got to mix it up.
Okay, no problem. Get some food in. Thank you so much for your support. It really does mean a lot, even if it's $1. Like I said, when you end up, having really successful streams, you know what I mean? It feels good to be able to add on to that. But then also sometimes we'll have streams where we're sitting at, $5, $10, $20. And a lot of times you'll be the reason that, at least that we get to that number. So remember, no matter what the dollar amount is, remember that not every person will support. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much. She said, I got to go eat. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And let's see if we can get that photo up here before she leaves. Thank you. Appreciate you. And I'll throw you a Pete as you leave. We'll wave goodbye with a handsome Pete Carroll as you go off into the sunset while you get your food. Even though it's not sunset right now, you're in Australia. Totally different time. There we go. Let me get you the Silver Fox. Silver Fox while you're on your way out. There you go. Appreciate you. $5 holla. Someone needs to get some food in their belly. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. $2.35. Let's get to 3. Appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day. We'll talk soon. And then you can give me an update on some of the research with some of the players and whatnot. You can always follow like the mock drafts and look at what a lot of people are saying, projected picks in the first 3 or 4 rounds. And we can go over some of those things when you're ready. Yeah. You and Dirk? He came to your school or like basketball? You went to like basketball game or something like that? Okay. Not sunset quite yet. That's what I figured. Silver-headed coaching god. Yeah, there you go. All right. Talk soon. Yeah. Well, like I said, the only person that's younger than you is probably Elliot, as far as like Maud and Young. I mean, he's like, 19, so, but most of the people will be 20. I mean, like I said, it all depends on the fans. I mean, we have people that are like 10 to 20 that watch, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and then it's like half the fan base is under 40 and the other half is over 40. So basketball game. Yeah, but you got more knowledge than for someone your age, like a lot more. And I talked to my buddy about the Julio bobblehead, and we looked at tickets. All the tickets that are like on the aisle that are good are not even available. Like so I told him if I have to buy the Julio on eBay for, $50 to $100, I'm just going to do that. I'll buy it off a collector that doesn't give a shit about it, So imagine going to the game and buying tickets for $100 and then selling your bauble for $100 and then getting to go to the game for free. That's what people are going to do. So, but because we're going to be going to see the Cardinals like 3 weeks later. So just like, we're not going to be able to make the time unless I go up there. And if I go up there, 20,000 people, if it's like 40 or 50,000 capacity, if it's Julio's first bauble in Seattle, there's going to be people waiting in line way early. Normally it's like 30 minutes to an hour. It might be like 2 hours in line because you want to make sure that you get it. You don't want to be waiting in line and then all of a sudden you don't get one. That would be the worst. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole purpose of going to that fucking game is getting that Julio bauble. And I want every Mariner issued Julio bauble for life. So I need to either go or, try to buy it. I mean, I got the Griffey. I bobbled that over here with my right hand. I got the Randy Johnson, Dan Wilson. I bobbled that one over here with the left, heads of bobbling, And then obviously I got my favorite wrestling one right here. I'll have to put Nash and Hall with him. But, you got the old school Hollywood Hogan. And there's the little detail, the For Life on the pants, Hollywood. I mean, every subtle detail on some of these are just incredible. Even got the spray paint can. NWO shirt. It's all about the NWO, baby. No world order for life, brother. Oh yeah. It's like, fuck, maybe I'll go watch that special again. I do probably want to try to get another walk in, because if it's going to start snowing at like 1 a.m., I need to try to get Paisley, since she's American Staffordshire. Like, I need to get her active. So I'll see how she's doing and whatnot. So we'll probably go for, another 35 minutes to an hour. And then I also need to go to the store because I need to go get those Lunchables and stuff too. So we'll probably go here for another maybe, 35 minutes to an hour. So we'll go to 2 hours and 30 minutes or 3 hours. And then, because again, I have to cut it off at 10:30 anyways, which would be an hour and a half from now. So the longest I could do is 3 hours and 30 minutes because, she has to wake up early and I don't want to be loud. I'm, in the room over. So, but thank you guys so much for all of your support. Let's make the last 35 minutes or hour and 5 minutes the best. And then I'll go to the store, grab a couple of those Lunchables. Maybe I'll find something like Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Shep has blessed me with, an ability to be able to kind of treat yourself. So obviously, some good seafood would be in order at some point, but I try to be able to, bills and save and Paisley. I really don't try to get a whole lot for myself, but just try to make sure that we maintain here, with what we're doing. So that way it's, not a scary, position to be in. So kids there, and you're in Canada, or no, you're not in Canada. You're in LA. My other friend is in Canada, similar name to you, but you're in California. But then we had another one, Amanda, and then another person. They were talking about how they have some different things, but I guess it just depends on the region or where you're at. All week, huh? All right, where do we want to go, Shep? I'm going to delete all these photos to make room for more. And then, like I said, we'll grind it out here. And if I didn't have snow coming and I, had to get all these things done, then yeah, definitely I would go until like 10:30 for 3 hours and 30 minutes. But I think it'd be good to try to maybe sneak in another walk if I can with my pup. Because if it starts being really, really cold, I don't have like a coat for her. She's pretty brave and she likes to be outside with dad, but also I don't want her to be miserable too. So.
Your best defense against erosion and cavities is strong enamel. Nothing beats it. New Pro Enamel Active Shield actively shields the enamel to defend against erosion and cavities. I think that this product is a game changer for my patients. It really works.
Why did we choose Safe Flight? For us, driving around is the only way we can get our baby to sleep. So
I saw you left California. All right, what do we want to do? Shepard, Matt, what do we want to do here for like the last 30 minutes or so? And then we'll go there. And I mean, like I said, we'll play it by ear. And if we go to the 3 hour mark, I'm totally cool with that. If we go to the 2 hour and 30 minute mark, and then again, even with the snow and everything, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to try to grind it out every day. I have to. I mean, we are so behind the 8 ball, and thankfully, with people like Shep and that generosity, that definitely helps us get a little bit out of the hole with everything. Because, when things are tight and really, really, it's like, obviously I can't really give back like I did before because I just don't even have enough to give back, but I will, once we get to that point. But it's like at the very, very least, throughout the months, I got to be able to pay rent and pay bills. I don't want to get to a point where I have to do a second or third job. I will, but I feel that if I just stay positive and, things will eventually, some of those goats that aren't here, they'll come back or we'll get some new ones. And you just have to have the faith that you can make it work. And, it's not like I need a lot to survive either. I think really, throughout, rent and cell phone and bills, I don't need a lot. I think I probably need only like 1,000, in the month, it's not like I need a lot, but again, some months will be better than others. I'm just like every other person that's got rent and bills. So that's facts. Yeah, no worries. You got to go to work tomorrow. I appreciate you and everyone else in the room. Get some rest since we're ending it early. That'll be good for you. It's 11:13 your time now. Get some rest. Go to work if you're going to be going to work, if you're feeling better. And I'll be back tomorrow and we'll communicate. And if there's any other stories and, we'll have AEW Rampage, no basketball or Dynamite, excuse me. And then maybe there'll be another college basketball game that I can do just to get, the feet wet a little bit. So yeah, fantastic day. MVP Shep. Without Shep, we're probably sitting at around what we normally are or even less. So thank you so much. I think so too, because I do have people like you and, Cyber and certain people that will, no matter what, I think that if it ever gets to the point to make sure I can continue, but as long as I'm putting in the work, it's not like I'm streaming 4 times a month and I'm like, what's going on? It's like, if you're putting in the work and you're streaming, 20 to 25 times in 30 days, some days are going to be shitty, but some days will be phenomenal. So you just have to be positive, but sometimes it does get tough, being honest. It's like if you have 3 or 4 bad streams in a row, then you're just like thinking okay, are we ever gonna be able to have a good stream? You know what I mean? Like, if anyone was in my shoes and you're seeing what I do on a daily basis, I don't think anyone would really want to do 4 or 5 hours, for like $5. Everyone, I mean, if it happens, it happens, but you just want to feel appreciated that you can at least get what you feel you're worth. And then if, you can, kind of support and buy food and pay bills and whatnot. So I think so too, though, because of you and other people like you too. All right, let's go. Whiskey Applewood Bacon Burger. And great job as usual, Sarah. Even when she's sick, she tries to come through. And I am really, it's like, sometimes, you have people that could be a candidate, to do it, but also too, they have to be able to put in the time and the commitment. And obviously, being a mod is not easy. Plus, if it's someone like me that streams as often as I do, I mean, that's a lot of work, a lot of commitment, but I try to show the gratitude. And, it's always better when you have a team rather than trying to do shit by yourself. It's very hard to be able to, advance things, with trying to do it all by yourself. Pacheco tackled. 7-0 Bengals. Can't go wrong with this photo. The pulled pork and the brisket from Buc-ee's. Big Kahuna burger. That looks amazing. I would want to go to Buc-ee's just for that. Those two. All right, let's see what Matt's got here. Big Kahuna burger. All right, let me get the reveal. Kaka. I know who likes a big Kahuna burger. There's another version. That looks good. Grilled pineapple teriyaki glaze, topped with Swiss cheese, grilled pineapple, onion slices, and ham. That sounds just deliciously made from the gods, like the burger gods. I could eat that probably almost every couple days. No, I bet. Yeah, you are. For real. Do you have any family that lives in the lower 48, or does your whole family live in Hawaii? Do you have any relatives or anyone else that lives in the lower 48, or is it all Hawaii and that's just where all your relatives and people are? All right, we got about 24 minutes to go. And we'll make the best of it. We'll get the best food photos here in the last 24 minutes. And thank you so much, Shep. Man, you have no idea, man. Like I said, just, you get to a point where it's like, man, do I want to stream today? Should I take a day off and try to clear my head? But, you're like, oh, I talked to you. So, yeah, we're going to do this, try to get back on track. And, yeah, definitely. And like I try to say, all it takes is one person to really change the whole vibe or the dono part or just the vibe of the stream itself. And you've done both. So, yeah, and I know you've been busy, but you've been spending time with family, and that's something that you needed to do anyways. But as you get more acclimated to where you go, if you do have more time, regardless if you can donate or not, obviously you're the MVP on that. But even if you can just come in and hang out a little bit here and there, that would definitely give the stream a little boost. Because sometimes it does get a little dry, a little stale in the room, and we're just waiting for more people to show up, and then they never show up. You know what I mean? So I still have a good time, where we can do like vintage stuff, video games. But as we know, more goats in the room, the better the stream is. The more people, if there are, click, when we get 10 to 20, that's like the perfect amount. But, sometimes we can't get it to that, that number, All right. No problem, man. I'll be back tomorrow. Some live in Oregon and Washington. Nice. Have to come and visit your boy, dude. Oh, if I took you to a Duck game, you'd lose your fucking mind. You wouldn't even go back to Hawaii. You'd be like, Hawaii? What's that? I like the pineapple piece too. Like some people, it's like that sweet. Like sometimes people don't like, that you can do like sweet and savory with certain things. Sometimes people, are afraid of like certain combinations, or if they don't like pineapple on their pizza, you know what I mean? But for me, I'm not going to necessarily be like, I want pineapple and Canadian bacon pizza. That's not my first choice. But every once in a while, instead of doing like a meat pizza or a combo or a pepperoni, yeah, I actually do enjoy a pineapple and like Canadian bacon. I think it tastes great. It's that sweet and then that savory. And I know some people think that's nuts and that's crazy, but everyone has a different palate, and what they like. So, yeah, it's been rough. I mean, like I said, when you do this full time and, you have gratitude and bang, bang, things are close. Some days are good. Some days are more challenging. But like the bottom line is I just want to be able to provide and be able to survive and not have to worry, about what's going to happen. Like, am I going to be able to pay rent? Am I going to, I just want to be able to work hard and let it all play out on its own. So, but when you do have 2 or 3 or 4 bad streams in a row, it definitely makes you question, like the direction of where things are going, even though it will get good at some point. But when the goats are in the room, It's definitely a different vibe for sure. All right, let me delete some of these photos and we'll get some more food up.
No matter what type of severe asthma you have, Dispire can help you have fewer asthma attacks and
Chico.
Dispire is an adult treatment for people.
All right, try to keep doing some burgers here.
Don't take Dispire if you're allergic to it. Allergic reactions like rash or an eye allergy can happen. Don't stop your asthma.
Probably give my mom a call, see how she's doing. Stacks on stacks with those patties, baby.
No matter who you are, ask your asthma specialist about Dispire today.
Remember college? 5-hour energy got you through then. And now?
All right, we got 20 minutes to go. We'll see if we get anybody else to come through, and maybe we'll get a dono or two more depending on who shows up. And if we don't, no big deal. We definitely exceeded everything, than what we were getting. So much better today. 7-3 Bengals on NFL Network. NFL top 10 games of last season. This is number 8. 3:50 left in the first quarter. Bengals up 7-0 at home. No, 7-3 at home, up on the Chiefs.
Great design. That's all coaching, creating a huge hole there, and then P-Ryan does the rest. And then this is a seam, a dot, right down the middle that not everybody can throw and make it look that easy. And then the athleticism of both these quarterbacks, Burrow showing it off on that one. He's got just enough wiggle room and stuff to kind of make things easy. He certainly wiggled on the ground for a while after he found Davis. Now he's going to start out with an empty backfield, a second possession. They ran in that AFC Championship game we just showed you with the billboard. Had some late game rushes that were really pivotal in that game as they mounted that comeback, matching the largest championship game comeback.
Vegas Giant Burger. He said, "What the fuck is a Vegas Giant Burger?" Oh, damn. I guess it is large and in charge. Yes. If you look at my face and you actually look at the videos back, before, and look at like the thinness of my face, like I'm definitely not exactly where I need to be, but I'm still eating some stuff that, I'm walking it off. I still like a good burger once in a while or a piece of pizza or two, but I am trying to eat cleaner and better. And I haven't had any beer or booze really. I've cut that out when I said, and I'm sticking to Snapples and Gatorades. And it's really been doing me good. And I've been trying to walk an hour to 3 hours every day with Paisley. So that way it gives me a chance to walk, exercise, mental health, pre-roll, right? Music, and then with Paisley. So I knock off like 4 things in once: my mental health, my exercise, my music, my, the pre-roll. And so I can just, kind of be alone with my thoughts. You feel me? Chico. And then, so things are good. Because if you go back and look at some of the videos that I did before, my face is much fatter. So burgers and ribs, Chico. Okay, let's do that. Heck yeah. Holly in the building. How are you? How are you doing? You just missed Sarah by just maybe like 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah, we're going to go for another 17 minutes. We're going to have snow here tonight. And then I took my mom to get surgery done on her eye, and then picked her up from home, and then took her to the hospital and doctor, and then picked her up and took her home. And I got to take her early in the morning, but it's supposed to start snowing at like 1 a.m. to like tomorrow, like rain and snow. So hopefully it's not a big deal, because I got to take her to do a follow-up at another doctor to check on her eye to make sure it's okay. And then I still need to, grab like Lunchables and maybe take Paisley for another walk before this fucking cold front comes in. So we haven't had snow all year in 2023. So now we're getting our first glimpse of snow, and it's almost March. It happens almost every year. I want it during Christmas. I want it during January. Nope. You got to wait till February or almost March. And we're going to have rain, snow, like mix. And then 3-4 days from now, after it probably all melts, it happens again. And then 3-4 days later, around March 1st, it happens again. So it's really weird. We're not having consecutive days. It's like 1 day or a day and a half. Chiefs with the interception on NFL Network. We got Chiefs and Bengals from week 13. top 10 games of the year, number 8. And then, like I said, I have a few things to do. If I didn't, then we probably would go for another hour from now. But it's good to have you in the room, and I hope that you are doing well. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow and whatnot, and even snow or not, I just want to make sure I have supplies, just because, anytime it snows here, and if it's just a little bit, people freak out. They freak out. All right, we got 15 minutes left. Anything specifically you want to see? Holly, we're doing food right now, but if there's anything that you want to see football player wise or anything that you're thinking of. I did the Kansas game last night. I'm starting to do college basketball, and I thought maybe you would drop in if you weren't busy. And it ended up being actually a really good game. So I'm trying to do, since there's no NBA games until Thursday, I was like, all right, well, I have to find other things to do. And the only thing that are going on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is college hoops. And I was like, oh, Kansas is on. I haven't done a Kansas game all year. They won the championship. We watched it together. I was like, I think they're going to come back, even though they were down by like 15, and they did. And I do think they have a good chance of winning it again. But there's other teams this year like Houston and Alabama, which typically aren't really basketball schools, that are really good this year. But the one difference is that Kansas has got Bill Self, and no other team does. So that's the big difference for me. So. Oh, okay. Sure. I can throw up some Kansas basketball stuff. I actually had a great time doing the game too. Because if I'm going to do a basketball, stream, that's the team that I would ideally want to do. Because like I said, North Carolina and Duke are no longer good anymore, or Kentucky. So it's like a bunch of like kind of newer teams. You still got the Gonzagas and the Baylors, but I mean, I'm more familiar with watching greatness and being able to follow the coaches, and those will lead to the recruits. And I'll be able to throw a couple up here for you. It sounds like it. She's been pretty positive. She's been sick for the last couple of days, so I had her take off some time, or let her know that if she needs to leave at any point, she can. So, but it sounds like things are going pretty good. It's like the one job now out of like the 3 or 4 that finally seems like it could be a fit. So that's good. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. K-U. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. $2. Appreciate you. Got time. Got 13 minutes. I can always sprinkle little Tommy in here. And rumor is he's going to be the highest paid punter in the game based off the new deal. Well deserved. And they should pay him the most money to be the most expensive punter, as long as it doesn't affect some of the other positions that need money. But of course, if you have a good punter and kicker, reward them. So very cool if he ends up being the number 1 highest paid punter. Well deserved. So. Cyberpunk sent me some information. I know something is speculative and some things might be rumor and whatnot, but yeah, very cool. Have you watched any Kansas basketball yet, Holly, or are you waiting for March Madness to kind of start tuning in? Not everyone is going to be, not everyone's going to be watching college basketball like NFL or college football. But once we get into the tourney, and that's why I was trying to, oh my gosh. I found something incredible. Best Kansas players collage. Ooh, this is cool. Look at this. I've never showed this before. This is cool. He's like, what is this motherfucker got? Yeah. Look at that with Danny Manning. Oh. I mean, shouldn't it be Paul Pierce, Wilt Chamberlain, and Danny Manning? Who's the guy on the far left? That's the question of the day. Who's the guy on the far left? You got Wilt Chamberlain in the middle, Danny Manning on the far right. Who's this on the far left? That is not Paul Pierce. Jeez. 8 degrees is cold. Sonic burger. Sonic.
We all have something we love. A passion. Could be our job. Travel. Sports. It could be anything.
Oh, I hope he stays. I hope he gets paid. Yeah, but like I said, I got to put and I'm doing XFL this year too. So it's like I'm just trying to do as many things as possible as I can. Because you never know what thing might click. I mean, obviously the NFL market is way too oversaturated. So I'm just like, I feel like I'm never going to be able to gain any ground there unless they do recommend me and I don't end up being like 30th in the recommendations, when I'm doing a live stream and there's like old streams from like 2 years ago that are ahead of me. But if it ever ends up being fair, I know we'll be able to gain a little momentum there, but I'm not banking on it. I'm trying to bank on everything else besides the NFL. I can't trust, that algorithm because obviously they, cater to the big boys. They don't cater to someone that's almost a big boy. I'm on the cusp, but so. Yeah. Number three. So yeah, but I'm going to try to do, they won 63-58 against TCU on the road. And I don't know if they're going to be as good as last year, but they got Harris is the point guard and he's nice. And then they also have Wilson, who's the best player, but had an off game. And then they have Grady Dick, no relation to Andy Dick. And he's actually really good. He's like a taller, lanky white guy. He's 6'8", freshman, 205, was like one of the players of the year, obviously in the area. And he did awesome last night. He's like that 3-point shooter, but he looks like a forward, but they say he's labeled a guard. He threw up 19 in the game. So Grady Dick, Wilson, Jalen Wilson, and then Harris. So those are going to be the main players for Kansas based off I watching them McCullough as well, but DeJuan Harris Jr. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to see. I mean, obviously it's hard to repeat, and they have a lot of teams that normally aren't up there. But Bill Self is the last best head coach left in college basketball, so maybe that will help. So, yeah. But I enjoyed it. It was good. And threw up some photos too. So, all right, we got 8 minutes to go. Throw up a corgi or two here for Holly. Anything else you want to see, Shep, before we go? We got 8 minutes to go, so I just want to cater to you guys the best I can. Maybe we're going to try to go to the store and then maybe go for a 30-minute walk if I can't do an hour, depending on how cold it is out there, and try to get her one last walk in because I might not be able to walk her long distance tomorrow. If she's willing to go in the snow, which I think she will, but I don't have a jacket or coat for her, like everything is, she's getting bigger, but she is, I don't feel like she's really getting fat or anything because we're walking so much. So I'm just trying to keep her in shape. And this dog breed, I've seen many videos, of, life expectancy and different things that might happen, so I'm just trying to, treat every day as if it's my last day with her. I really try to have that mindset. I want to be able to just kiss her and just spoil her and just have as much fun as I can with her. Life is short. You never know when things are going to end. So, I mean, even if they have a life expectancy of like 12 to 15 years, typically more close to 12, but I don't even want to think about not her being around. So, and it's good for our exercise. She's getting stronger. She'll pull me a little bit. There's no like, oh, let's rest. When she starts going, she's like 50 to 60 pounds now. So she's getting bigger. Touchdown, Bengals. T. Higgins. Oh, Fruit Loops. F-R-O-O-T. I saw the person do a contest, and they're like, how do you spell Fruit Loops? And it's like, oh, is it F-R-U-I-T or F-R-O-O-T? And then the guy was like thinking about it or whatever. It was like for money, like on a Twitch or YouTube channel. And he had to think about it. And he's like, oh, because, you just assume. And then it's like, oh, shit, it is spelled F-R-O-O-T, like spelled wrong. That sounds good. I might have to go to the store and get some. I actually am kind of craving cereal. I got some milk yesterday. So sometimes cereal really does hit the spot, especially when you don't eat it often, like, maybe once a week or twice a week or even less than that. And then you can get your, whatever, that suits you at the time. I'll do a little bit of everything, the fruity stuff, the granola, flakes. I mean, it just depends on my mood, I think. Reese's Puffs, wherever I go. Appreciate you very much. Hope things are going better for you. Day in, day out. We've got a lot of challenges. Bang, bang. And we just got to try to stay positive the best that we can. Appreciate you. The Fruit Loops.
That's the secret sauce right there. Everyone has all the things to chase. 6 catches, 103 yards. The championship game last year, he made a huge difference, showing it again today.
We're all here for football.
And I got to get a Tatum for you for based off that performance. Get you some Tatum. Jason Tatum. And Jaylen Brown. Maybe this is the year. This is the year maybe Boston goes all the way. Could be. Just depends with Giannis and his health and everything. You can get past the Bucks, then yeah, and obviously the West is going to be good, but they don't have anybody like Warriors good. It's like Denver, but if you can just kind of limit Joker, yeah, there's going to be a chance if you play Denver or, if it ends up being Phoenix or the Grizzlies. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sold on Phoenix just yet. I need to see the chemistry with KD first before I pencil them in. So. All right, no problem. We'll talk to you tomorrow or sometime soon. Appreciate you. Yeah, we're almost done here. We got 4 minutes to go. And then your boy's going to go to the Stowe and then go for a walk. It'll be my second or third walk today. But it's like if you get addicted to good habits, obviously, it's a good thing. It'll help, overall mental health and everything. All right, good night. Have a good rest of your night. Appreciate you. And I'll throw up Atlanta Falcon. Let's throw.
The only place in America to see every Super Bowl ring, your chance to see all 362 bronze bucks. There's so much.
Thanks for saving everything, Shep. Appreciate you. Yeah, because without you, we probably would be sitting around what we have been or less, like I said, within the last 3 or 4 streams. So it really feels good, to be able to be at that point. Things have been very challenging, to say the least.
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now. There's only one thing that will save somebody's life. That is naloxone nasal spray. Fentanyl. It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. Why would drug dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl in drugs to know it's so harmful? Really just all about the money.
All right, let's go over the photos that we got going on here one last time, and then we'll call it a night. Bird Gang in the building. What to do? I'm just about to get out the door because we have snow coming in, so I need to go get some supplies and stuff here in Oregon. So, but I will be back tomorrow though. And I did the game earlier with Marquette and Creighton. Good game too. Final score 73-71. Marquette wins. Trying to do a little bit of basketball here and there. And if you're looking for something to watch, A&E NWO Season 3, Episode 1, documentary, 2 hours, all about the NWO, Chico. It was great. All right, let's go over some of the food, and then we'll be able to wrap everything up here. He's a motherfucker. What kind of cheeseburger is that? Big kahuna. Damn, I'm hungry now, for real.
And what they did, the key second half adjustment, they started to rush 3 guys and drop 8. And then they spied with somebody else over and over again. And it really created problems for Mahomes. And you see, last year, they did that 10 times. And they had only 2 passes completed. Now, I will say this.
Hopefully I'll get a chance to do some more Kansas. Still don't know who that guy is on the far left. I'll have to do some research. Ooh, big sack lunch. Tatum. Appreciate you, Shep. All right, baby. And let me see here. All right, I think we are good to go here at this point. So thank you so much for everyone that came in and donated and shared the channel on Twitter and supported and helped us actually have a really successful stream after the last few have been pretty challenging. Shep, you're the MVP. Thank you to everyone that donated, that shared, that obviously had good conversation in here tonight. And I will be back tomorrow, and hopefully the snow isn't too bad. And I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Who talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.